What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're back at the Polderbaan, as you guys can see, with crosswind today. 13 knots of almost pure crosswind. It is Thursday, August 6, 2026. Have a look at the crabbing 777. Lovely to see. The wind is almost exactly blowing from the west and is 13 knots according to the latest METAR. Double-digit wind speed, almost exactly. Crosswind means nice crabbing airplanes. So sit back and enjoy the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a good one today. It's 20 degrees Celsius, few clouds at 3,000 feet. In other words, lovely summer weather. Good to be out. You can see clouds in the backdrop, providing nice contrast. Gorgeous day here. For now, almost all alone over here. The crayfish fisherman has also returned to check the nets. This is KLM flight 592, which is returning from South Africa. Things are relatively calm over here. Have a look. Nobody here except the crayfish fisherman whose pickup truck is parked over there. He just dropped the boat in the canal and I think he went the other way, so he will be coming this way. He still has to come this way. Not sure what they're doing over there, if that's fertilizing. I think it might be. Oh no! That's a bale of hay, isn't it? Collecting hay or straw? Straw. That's straw, isn't it? Oh yeah, yeah. You can see slowly forming and then boom, dropping one off. Collecting, making a bale. Once the bale's done, dropping it so that it can be picked up later. Awesome. Lovely to see. Big picture wise, this is what things look like. So looking to the north, it looks like this. The west currently looks like so. You can see more or less where the wind is coming from. Linear cloud formation, cloud formations, cloud streets. Lots of horizontality in the scale of chimney smoke. Double-digit wind speed, nice crosswindy conditions, and nice cooler temperatures here too. Cloudiness should increase in thickness as the day progresses, and later in the day in the north of the country some rain was possible. Whether or not it's going to rain over here remains to be seen. I'm not too sure it will. It definitely won't in the upcoming hours. You can see it's still very dry over here. The grass is very yellowy. There's still no grass over here. I think we need a bit more rain to get the grass seeds that are undoubtedly over here in the sand to keep them to get them kick-started. Right now, looking at the clouds, this is where the wind seems to be coming from, in spite of what the METAR says, because the METAR says it's coming just a tad. Well, hey, yeah, depending on the way you look at it, there are several ways you can see linear cloud formations. The METAR says that the wind is coming from over there, and looking at the patterns, I think that might still be the case. Looked for a moment like it was a bit more southerly wind, but either way, it's almost pure crosswind, so that is absolutely lovely. Where is the next airplane? I'm zooming out on flight radar, and it looks like there are two wide bodies coming in from the west. That are going to be the first next arrivals over here. United Airlines flight 968, arriving from San Francisco. Dreamliner KLM 646 from New York is coming. Two SASs are approaching from the east. Yeah, it's an easy start into the day. A very warm welcome to everybody who joined in the meantime. Maria, goedenavond. Jackie, goedemorgen. Hope you had a good vacation, mate. Welcome back. Good morning to everybody else. Jen, goedemorgen. Peter, Nick, Cas Gaming, Lightning Peppers, goedemorgen, good morning. Ronnie, good morning. Naomi, goedemorgen. Good morning. Henk, goedemorgen. Martin, goedemorgen man. Joao, goedemorgen. Bernie, goedemorgen. QJ, goedemorgen. Mark, goedemorgen. Hans, goedemorgen. Mickey, goedemorgen. Richard, goedemorgen. Stefan, nummer 14, goedemorgen. Leo, goedemorgen. Honda, goedemorgen. I tried your black tea, the one that you had in the gift package, the Zwolle gift package. Tried it the other day for the first time. Lovely, lovely tea, no bitterness whatsoever. It has a very fruity, strawberry-like aroma actually, despite the ingredients list not mentioning any strawberry explicitly. I do suspect it's one of the aromas that they've added to it. Lovely black tea. Luckily I have one of those metal theebuideltje, the Dutch word, in which you can put the black tea so that you can soak it and extract the tea. Absolutely lovely. Thank you once again so much for that whole package. Absolutely wonderful gifts. In the meantime, good morning to all others. Mickey, Richard, Leo, VDB 2000, goedemorgen. Martin van den Berg, goedemorgen. Jumpseater, goedemorgen. Senor Rodriguez, top of the morning. Hope you're doing well, Evan. Nice to see you again. Gerard, goedemorgen. Bimmer Frits is celebrating a membership anniversary, 32 months. And he writes goedemorgen, which is good morning in Dutch. It's what you all keep hearing me say so repeatedly. You can also replace the D with an I, and it will be what I'm more or less phonetically saying, goedemorgen. It does have a D in the official writing, goedemorgen. Most people say goedemorgen, and instead of pronouncing a D, you pronounce an I, which with all the other letters sounds like goedemorgen. People sometimes ask about it. What is it that you keep saying? That's the word, goedemorgen. Good morning in Dutch. Patrick, goedemorgen. Jackie is also celebrating with a smiley. 37 months of membership. Mate, thank you so much and congratulations on your long-lasting support. 37 months, 3 years and a month. Hope that everything in the lounge is still to your satisfaction. Hope you're also still enjoying being a mod. I appreciate both forms of support extremely much. Hope that both are still to your satisfaction, and if either of the two no longer is, then do let me know. Let me see what I can do to make things better for you. Jackie is now a member for 37 months and of course one of our very valued moderators. Thank you so much for all the support, mate. Always a pleasure to have you in our chat. I hope that's also the same for you. Bobbers, good morning. Friend Sebastian, morgen. Good to see you again, mate. T. Riemers, goedemorgen. Who else do we have? Oh, chat is going down more quickly than I am able to keep up. Let me scroll back up again. Don't want to miss anybody. We still have we have ample time to kill, so might as well just mention everybody who has taken the effort to say hi in the chat. Matthias, goedemorgen. Rick Chamberlain, goedemorgen. Melody Deluxe, goedemorgen. Good morning. M. Doesburg, goedemorgen. Dr. Drax, good morning, goedemorgen. Matthias Hoekstra, morgen. Marianne, goedemorgen. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Rick Chamberlain, I already said hi to. Jules van Bentham, I haven't said hi to. Goedemorgen. Bowie de Pauwie, goedemorgen. Kobe en Jan de Grip, goedemorgen. Almeloe, goedemorgen. Jolande, goedemorgen. And more membership anniversaries. This time it is our very valued long-standing member, Evan Rodriguez, aka Daddy of Obi-Wan Cat and Krypton Husky. 39 months of membership in the pocket. And he writes, hate to be the bearer of great news, I still like you. Ah, thank you so much, mate. It's a nice day, so I think I can handle some bad news. It is a hard bite to chew on. Is that the expression? I know there's something with something to chew on. Not exactly sure I remember the exact wording. Either way, I love you too, buddy. Thank you so much for your long-lasting support. It's always a pleasure to have you in the chat. I hope you still enjoy the membership. If anything in the lounge is amiss, let me know. I hope you know how to reach me. You can always send an email to me or comment somewhere below content, and I'm bound to see it at some point. Thank you so much and congratulations, Evan, on 39 months of membership. That's 3 years and 3 months. Now, the next airplane is coming, so I have to hurry up a little if I want to say hi to everybody. Let's see. Jorik, goedemorgen. Anthony Davidson, good morning. Tuning in from Birmingham, UK. Welcome back, mate. German Do This, good morning. Und herzlich willkommen. Richard Timmers, goedemorgen. Bastiaan, morgen. Yo, morgen. Verox, goedemorgen. Inimini, goedemorgen. Wombat Parade, good morning. Peter Jongendeel, goedemorgen. Henk J, goedemorgen. Marissa, goedemorgen. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Wesley, good morning. Kevin, good morning. I hope I didn't skip anybody. I hope I really have been able to say hi to everybody. Have a look at this beautiful picture. A Dreamliner crabbing, gear extending. We can zoom in a little with digital zoom. Makes things a bit more pixelated. Let me also... Does that help? Is that the vibration of the camera, or is that just my camera screen vibrating? Sometimes hard to see if the vibrations I'm seeing are the screen, but I think it's the camera, isn't it? Is this one of those days where I might have to resort to using image stabilizer? Would that make a difference? I don't think it will make a substantial difference, but we could give it a go. 2 airplanes, 2 wide bodies crabbing. And let me see if I can quickly enter the menu. Image stabilizer, go for standard image stabilization. And what does that do? Does that help? I also still have a more extreme image stabilizing setting. That's dynamic, but yeah, does it make a difference? Did it make a difference? I think it doesn't make a substantial difference. What it does do when you apply image stabilizer is that it reduces the accuracy of your input. So there's a bit of a lag, it's a bit more wavy, it's harder to follow airplanes when you have image stabilizer enabled. Preferably, if possible, I'd like to film without it being enabled. Evan says you were low on vodka a few days ago, but I won't dock you points for that. I am so sorry, Evan. I need to take inventory more regularly, and yeah, I'm busy and I do sometimes forget to do that. I am so sorry. Hope there was other liquor that you could enjoy instead of vodka. But that is definitely good feedback. Thank you for that, mate. Here we have United Airlines, flight 968, Boeing 7879, Dreamliner, arriving from San Francisco, 9 hours 40 minutes on the way. About to touch down here. So the airplanes are crabbing nicely today. If it also were a bit gusty, which it isn't, but if it were, it would make for a nice day with potential go-rounds. Not thinking we're going to get them today since the wind doesn't feel very gusty. It is just crosswind, but pretty homogeneous in the way it feels. Jayodi, goedemorgen. Moonlight Cutie, good morning. Nienke, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is KLM flight 646, arriving from New York, JFK. Another airplane in the background turning in. That's SAS. That's the first of 2 SAS's, arriving from Stockholm and Oslo, respectively. KLM flight 646, arriving from New York, JFK, 777-200, 6.5 hours almost underway, 6 hours 27 minutes, almost exactly as long as the Emirates A380 normally takes to get here from Dubai. Marissa announcing that the first A350 of the stream is in Dutch airspace in the vicinity of over Flevoland. So not too far away from Schiphol anymore. I didn't even show you Flight Radar yet, where you could see what's coming in. There are 3 747s underway in the A380S2. The A380 early today, or at least it was this morning still, which is nice because it had an ETA, when I checked this morning, of 12:48. Means it has room to spare to be in time for Polderbaan before the center runway will open, which will happen expectedly around 1. While we're waiting for the next airplane to get close by enough for us to see more details, I'll show you Flight Radar for a moment. Here we go. On the far left, we can already see 2 747s over the ocean, arriving from Miami, both of them, and they this morning had an ETA of shortly before 2. Yeah, the Retro Lux, being one of them, has an ETA now of 1:54. It's tracked over the ocean by satellite, so it might change once it gets closer to Europe. Interestingly, flying further back with an ETA of 2 minutes ahead of the Retro Lux is the Atlas Air. Yeah, so undoubtedly something is off here. They are expected around 2. That's been consistently the case. Earlier, we'll get to see the Cargo Lux arriving from Nairobi, which is expected to be here in an hour and 20 minutes from now, in the vicinity of Athens. In other words, still around 3 hours away, just a little less. 2 hours and 45 minutes approximately. Still standing, the ETA is still standing at 12:48, the Emirates A380. So that's good news. Means that there is a high likelihood of the Emirates A380 landing on the runway we are filming next to. So if you don't have to be anywhere, sit back and just enjoy the show. We have plenty of airplanes are underway. Although the sun right now isn't shining, it will in a moment. Ruben, goedemorgen. Alexander tuning in from Johannesburg, South Africa. Good morning. And Mehmet, good morning as well. Mehmet coming in with a gifted membership, the recipient of which is Ferox2805. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Ferox, have fun with the custom emojis, enjoy the membership. Don't forget to say thanks to Mehmet, as I'm doing now. Mehmet, thank you so much for your generosity, and good to see you again, mate. Hope all is well. And welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, of course, Ferox. This is SAS flight 1553, arriving from Stockholm. If I recall correctly, I am standing in line with the first exit, so butt shots ought to be visible quite nicely from here, provided that the airplanes take the first exit, which this one isn't. Or is it? No, spoke too soon. I think I was under the impression it was going too quickly, but bit more. This is the right place, isn't it? I think it is. Yes, here we go. I knew it. If I recalled correctly, and I think I did, the entrance to the field here was more or less where you could see the airplane's bum directly. Well, for as long as it is taking the exit, of course. With respect to aquatic birds in the water over here, looking high level, you can see there's not much visible. When I was here arriving and starting to set up, Gary Grebe was here. In the moments he wasn't underwater, of course. Yeah, he was here. Haven't seen any other birds yet. No coots either, which is odd because ordinarily the coots are almost always present in the early morning already. Next SAS coming in, flight 821, arriving from Oslo. Nice crabbity crab. meantime, a very good morning to all who have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are here at the Polderbaan, runway 18 right, the primary runway for arrivals, parallel departures, and diverging departures with runway 24 and runway 18 left. And parallel arrivals will commence later with center opening, most likely as secondary runway. EasyJet up next. EasyJet arrived from Gatwick. The wind is blowing from the west, it's double digits, hence the crabbing. No go-arounds yet, for those of you wondering if we saw any more people joining. Arjan, goedemorgen. Cheyenne, goedemorgen, good morning. Oreo. Next up will be a KLM 737-900, arriving from Berlin. There it is. Horeas, goedemorgen, good morning. Dion, goedemorgen. Dion is also celebrating 10 months of membership. I see no accompanying text in the highlighted message, just a highlighted message, 10 months of membership. Dion, thank you so much for your support, mate. Hope that the membership is still to your satisfaction. If you have any suggestions for improvements, do let me know. It's always nice to have you in our chat, and I hope you'll keep coming back for a long time to come. If not as a member, then at least as a regular recurring visitor. 10 months of membership for Dion. Congratulations, mate, and thank you so much for the support. John, also back in the chat. Goedemorgen. Good to see you again, mate. Hope you've had a good day. Hans, goedemorgen. RD777, good morning. John Logan, good morning, mate. Or good evening to you. Hope you've had a good day. Now, let's see. Where is the next wide body? It's coming and might even be visible in a moment in the background. It should be arriving from the east. First A350 of the show. Marissa already announced it not too long ago. Don't think we are able to see it just yet, but it should get visible pretty soon. I wonder if maybe the clouds are in the way. I think they might be. With a few clouds at 3,000 feet, that is where the A350 would be flying at right now, approximately. And if it were lower, it might be that the clouds are still in the way a little. Now, Flight Radar says it's turning final. Oh yeah, there it is. Just briefly when the sun, and now again when the sun is illuminating it, it stands out a bit more than when it is flying in the shade. Rob Drop, goedemorgen, good morning. Craw. Look who's saying hi, it's Russell Crowe. Craw, good morning, mate. He's saying, oh, are you back? Where have you been, mate? We miss you. Oh, and a tractor is coming this way. More hay bales or straw bales in the making. Cool. Awesome. All right. Where were we? A350, the first A350 of the show. Here it is. Turning final, gear out. This is China Southern Airlines passenger airplane, arriving from Guangzhou in China. 11 hours and 32 minutes on the way. The Bravo 30 Foxtrot, the 30 Foxtrot 0. There you go. Arjan, goedemorgen. War Thunder with Jelly, goedemorgen. Mieke Bloemenk, goedemorgen. Clementia, goedemorgen. Nick P 1990 is celebrating 9 months of membership. 9 months in, a lot more to go. Nick, congratulations, mate, and thank you so much for your support thus far. I hope that the membership is still to your satisfaction. But if it isn't, if you have any suggestions for improvements, do hit me up and let me know what you feel needs to be changed or improved, and I'll see what I can do to make it better. 9 months of membership. Thank you so much for that, Nick, and congratulations. Second wide body turning in from the west, and a third one is coming. I hope, but I fear we might not get to see them all three in one shot. That would be amazing if that were possible, but I'm already looking to the right over the camera to see if I can spot it. I don't think I am able to see it yet. Oh yeah, now I am. Yeah, that's still over the, for those of you who know, the silvery buildings, the sugar factory, that's where it was. That's over there, and a bit higher up, that's where the airplane is flying. So yeah, that's not going to make it into the shot, unfortunately. Hey stranger, good morning mate, good to see ya. Two crabbing wide bodies, a third one is approaching. The airplane I was looking for was KLM 872, arriving from Delhi. That's a Dreamliner. It will probably enter the field of view in the background when number 1, the A350, has landed and we're following the now number 2. Or will we? Yeah, no, it's still too far away. More wide bodies are coming downwind. Left of me, I'm already looking to see if I can catch a glimpse of it. KLM Flight 592, arriving from Cape Town. Alright, A350 about to land. Almost half a day on the way, 11.5 hours. Grumpy A350. I don't want to go back to the Netherlands, I want to stay in China. Reversers work. Right, let's quickly turn back. KLM Flight 736 is arriving from Willemstad Curaçao. That's a 777-300, or there it is. And is the Dreamliner? Oh yeah, there it is. There's the Dreamliner. Now entering the field of view in the background. Good morning, plane guy. Anita en Lennart, goedemorgen. KLM Flight 872 is turning in. There's also a BA320 turning in, according to flight radar. That should be approaching from the other side. Not sure if we're able to see that yet. Not sure to what extent the clouds are in the way of seeing the airplanes further away. According to flight radar, the BA should be on final. It's usually at the 7 o'clock of the number 2. Not seeing anything yet, so might be that the clouds are in the way a little. This is KLM Flight 736, arriving from Willemstad Curaçao, 777-300, 8 hours and 32 minutes on the way. Nice wheelie. Boom. Nicely done. More up. Michel, goedemorgen, and welcome to the show, everybody else who may have joined in the meantime. You're still watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are here at a cloudy, but also, most importantly, crosswindy Schiphol Airport, where we have wind blowing from the west, and the airplanes are landing to the south. Means that the wind that we have is almost pure crosswind. And you can see the airplanes are crabbing. They're leaning in against the wind. Wind is blowing from our left to our right. Looking at the airplanes right now. So they need to lean in to their right to stay on course to the runway. A process called crabbing, which I'm sure all of you already knew. KLM Flight 872, arriving from Delhi in India. 787-10 Dreamliner, 7 hours and 53 minutes underway. The Papa Hotel Bravo Kilo India. 5-year-old machine, first flight August 2020. Andy, good morning. Alper Aviation, good morning. Welcome to the show, everybody else. Michelle, goedemorgen. I think I already said hi to you, but just in case I didn't, it's better to say hi twice than zero times. There's the shadow visible on the dike. Maybe it was earlier. I'm always looking for it. This time of day, you can often see it. Of course, you need to keep your focus on it, because you'll miss it if you blink. Nice cabin here. Jan Pijnenberg, goedemorgen. And welcome to the show, everybody else who may have joined in the meantime. You're still watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're here at the Polderbaan, where the sun is temporarily hidden behind a cloud, of which there are quite a few. It's semi-sunny, nice cool weather. Not completely alone. Two gentlemen have arrived over here. They're chatting. If you hear something, if you hear chatter, that might be them. Looking to the east, looking to the south. To the west, this is looking to the east, of course, and back again to the north. Two airplanes on final, the second of which is KLM Flight 598, arriving from Cape Town in South Africa. Here in the foreground we have BA Flight 430, arriving from London Heathrow. That's an A320, and you might be wondering, London? Yes, London.
You know. Fish, chips, cup of tea, bad food, worse weather, Mary fucking Poppins, London.
I'm standing with my tripod on loose sand and gravel, and I see that the tripod has moved a little. So I was readjusting the tripod head to make things level again. Here we go. One World livery. British Airways. What does it say? One World. So next to the big letters, there's also a sticker. In case you missed the big letters, you can still see on the sticker they're part of One World. Bubble is not completely in the middle. This is better. So over time, you do see that on this somewhat looser ground, that your tripod can lower a little. If one of the three legs lowers a little bit, you're no longer completely level. Saw that the bubble level was a bit off. Luckily, I can correct it rather easily and quickly. Nice wheelie, nose gear touchdown, happening right before our eyes, right where we are standing. Next, we're going to get KM Malta Flight 394, arrived from Malta. That's an A320neo. And after that, another Dreamliner from KLM, arriving from Cartagena, which is in Colombia, right next to Ecuador. The scale of chimney smoke is showing a lot of horizontality. We have double-digit wind speed. The wind is almost perpendicular to the runway heading. In other words, pure crosswind, hence the crabbing airplanes. Good morning, Fluffy Bunny from New York. And thank you so much for your kind words and for your generosity. A super chat writing, hello from New York City, great stream. Thank you for the kind words, Fluffy Bunny. Thank you for the donation as well. You really didn't have to do the letter, but you did it anyway, and I thank you so much for that. I'm glad to hear you're enjoying the show. Hope everybody is. If you are enjoying the show, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps to bring in more people in the future. The more the merrier. We have plenty room for more people. And to that, I will have a small sip of vodka. Bottoms up, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to stay hydrated. Michael DCA, also back in the chat. The west coast of the United States, well represented now. Is Evan now the only one holding the fort for the west coast of the United States? Surely we have more. We used to have Mrs. Professor also from California tuning in. Of course, Captain Jerry doing the Northwest. Bill J, he was from Seattle. Haven't seen him in a while. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. This is KM Malta, tippy toey touchdown. Flight 394, right from... Where could it have come from? I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know. Big mystery. KM Malta, coming in from somewhere around the world. Somewhere in the world. Our viewers are from around the world. In fact, they are from... Around the world, around the world, around the world, around the world. Right. Using the sound effects was an itch I had to scratch. I'm done now. Rest assured. This is KLM 741 arriving from Cartagena in Colombia. I already told you which country it is next to. The airplane is the PHBKF, 6 years old, first flight December 2019. Typical KLM landing, keeping up the speed, vacate late, sooner to the gate. That's their motto. Hey, runway 27. Are they going to... Yeah, well, it makes sense, doesn't it? With the westerly winds. Okay, so runway 27 will be the secondary runway. It wasn't... I wasn't sure yet. I'll update the ticker then. I was assuming it was going to be 18C, but it's 27 apparently. Makes sense with the wind. Bezoekbus hadn't updated yet this morning. Also not moments before I was going live. Had a look-see to see what runway use would be like. But it only had the updates until 9:20 published. Makes sense on days like today with westerly wind to use runway 27 as secondary. It's a pity that they don't use it as primary, because otherwise I would have gone to the McDonald's, do a stream over there. If it's only the secondary runway and they're... Well, yeah, no, wait, you can go there right now if they're using 27 and 18 left all the time. Right, well, in hindsight, I could have taken a gamble and gone to the McDonald's. Then again, we didn't know for sure yet if it was going to be parallel arrivals or if 27 were to open up. That makes it all the more interesting and all the more good for us that the Emirates A380 is so early. Last time I checked, its ETA was 12:48, and that means it has ample time, relatively speaking, to get here and still be assigned to the Polderbaan when it arrives in Dutch airspace. I am assuming that later in the day 27 will also serve as secondary runway for arrivals, so that is probably going to open up besides the Polderbaan, the runway we're standing right next to, around 1 o'clock from 1 till 2. But that's okay, as long as the Emirates A380 is comfortably going to be arriving before 1 o'clock. In the meantime, a very good morning to all who have joined. Leumann, good morning. And now my chat has frozen a little bit. Oh yeah, no, I can still move it. Michelle, goedemorgen. Snus, goedemorgen, good morning. Chris, goedemorgen. Kevin, goedemorgen, good morning. Gertin en Jacqueline, goedemorgen. Groucho Kent, good morning, mate. Groucho Kent celebrating a membership anniversary, 16 months of membership. He uses his highlighted message to inform us that he'll be on that KM Malta flight on September 5th. Is that so, mate? What day of the week will that be? I don't know from by heart what day of the week that will be. Is there a theoretical possibility of me being able to catch your flight? You have shown the light before on arrivals here, so I'm pretty sure it would be fun if we were able to do that again. This is Emirates Flight 145, 777-300 arriving from Dubai. 6 hours 55 minutes flight time. It's late, isn't it? Normally we don't get to see Emirates Flight 145 in our morning streams, do we? Squeaky brakes. Where's the WD-40? It needs some lubrication. That's a Saturday, nice. Well, obviously things are always weather dependent, but it's good to know. Wouldn't be nice if we were able to make a 2 for 2 shine the light. 2 landings and twice visible. Leon, goedemorgen. Just got our new couch delivered, sitting great. Excellent, Nate. Sit back and enjoy, plenty more coming. 3 747s and an Emirates A380. Nice cirrus clouds here as well. Look at how it's almost as if it is finely drawn with a pencil or something. Looks gorgeous. At least I think it looks really nice. More planes coming in. This is Indigo, flight 21, arrived from Mumbai. Operated by Norse, 8 hours 58 minutes on the way. The Lima November Foxtrot November Delta. 8 years old, first flight February 2018. Bevroren patat, goedemorgen. Michael asks, did you see you got clipped by Pete, the Irish pilot, with the EasyJet wheelie? No, I haven't seen it. I do know that Pete has been clipping me every now and again. So, and he's asked for permission before, and I'm sure he knows I'm okay with it. That's nice. I didn't know he did another clip. Always love his commentary. Guess I'll have to go to Instagram again to have a look-see. Have a look at the gorgeous clouds over here, illuminated beautifully. Low clouds, but also higher up there are cirrus clouds visible here and there. It's a bit of confusing to see that there seem to be linear cloud formations in this pattern, but also in that direction. The meter was saying that that's where the wind is coming from. If I had pinpointed, I'd say this is probably still the direction the wind is coming from. But at certain angles, there seem to be more linear cloud formations possible. Make sure you point and focus on the right one. Tomorrow never knows. Good morning. And RD777 is celebrating 11 months of membership. Congratulations and thank you for the support, mate. No accompanying text along with the highlighted message. That's okay. That's your last month of having a yellow badge before you'll get a green one. Hope that the membership is still to your satisfaction. If it isn't, do let me know what you feel needs to be improved and I'll see what I can do to make it better for you and all the other members. RD777, congratulations on the 11 months of membership and thank you so much for your long-lasting support, mate. Transavia A321neo flight 5676 is arriving from Party Island, Ibiza. This is the one with the new livery. The font is a bit more bold and there's more green on the engine cowlings and on the tail. What do you guys think of it? Does it look better than the old one? Is it worse? Or is it so insignificant in your opinion that it makes no difference? Are you indifferent? Just curious what you guys think of the new iteration of the standard livery. Patrick, goedemorgen. Mike Wild, good morning. Welcome to the show, everybody. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy, and we are here at Polderbaan for glide slope shots. We haven't seen Captain Jerry yet, have we? He'll love these beautiful glide slope shots. E2 Embraer 195 is coming in next. KLM flight 1930 arriving from Geneva. Flight time 1 hour 17 minutes thus far. The Papa Hotel November X-Ray Charlie. That's a 5-year-old machine. First flight March 2021. Gorgeous landing. Well done. You might be wondering, where are the firefighters? They were here and actually already did their round as I was approaching. I had just parked my car and they already drove past. So they were early this morning. Don't think we're going to get to see them after they already returned to the station quite early. But they did do their round. Now, this is what I'm talking about, a linear 3-airplane glide slope shot. This is a nice money shot. Might actually be a nice thumbnail. Pilot EHAM, goedemorgen. Lonely Vibes, goedemorgen. André, goedemorgen. Right. Croatia Airlines flight 450 arriving from Zagreb. Star Alliance livery, A319. No, not an A319. The next airplane is an A319. This is a Bombardier C-Series 300. That's an A220. Flight time has been 1 hour and 42 minutes. 9 Alpha Charlie Alpha Sierra, brand new. Started flying in June this year. What? This is still brand spanking new. More Star Alliance liveried airplanes. Right, butt shot incoming. Max, goedemorgen. We can see through those see-through engines quite nicely there. Versus is now we only need a SkyTeam livery to tick off the airline alliances. Yeah, but are we going to get to see SkyTeam today, I wonder? Lately I haven't seen a lot of SkyTeams flying around. Almost, oh, tip two. Nice. Lufthansa A319, flight 2303, arriving from Munich. Nice tippy-toey, big fat carrying cabin in the back. More butt shots. Do we still have that custom emoji? I'm not sure. Do we even still have that butt shot custom emoji? Here it is. This is a butt shot, ladies and gentlemen. Looking in the airplane's bum directly from behind. Lufthansa, Karen cabin. Have we forgotten the butt shot emoji? I think we might have. What a shame. We haven't been able to stand here so long. We've lost the custom emoji. Oh dear. Crabbing Delta A330 up next, and after that we are going to get Air Canada with a Dreamliner over there. This is Delta Airlines Flight 162 arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. A330. Oh, there's the butt shot emoji. We still have it. Whew. Lovely landing, a lovely spool up of the reversers right in front of us. That was Delta Airlines Flight 162. 7.5 hours on the way. Well, 7 hours and 25 minutes according to flight radar. A 10-year-old machine, first flight May 2016. And next we're going to get Air Canada Flight 808 arriving from Toronto. Bank robber livery. Will it have Quebec in the registration? I mean, look. Yep, it will. It has. It does. So this is a proper Canadian. It's a proper crabbing Canadian as well. Here it is, Air Canada 808, the Charlie Golf Hotel Papa Quebec, 12 years old, first flight April 2014, 6.5 hours underway. So Toronto to Amsterdam, roughly the same flight time as the Emirates A380 takes to get from Dubai to Schiphol, or at least before any of the geopolitical disturbances of late. In the meantime, a good morning to everybody who joined. Tina, good to see you again. Zulurk, good morning. And also Jan Pijnenburg, goedemorgen. And thank you so much for your generosity, mate. Jan Pijnenburg just now went ahead and gifted memberships, 5 of them. A warm welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. To the new members who just received their membership from Jan. Don't forget to say thanks. Have fun with the custom emojis, 34 of them at your disposal without any restraints for the duration of a month. If you are the recipient of a gifted membership, don't forget to say thanks to the gifter. Jan, thank you so much for your generosity, mate. And a warm welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, to the new members who just received a gifted membership by Jan. Glenn Martin is also back. Kiora, good evening, mate. Hope all is well. Hope you've had a good day. Arno, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, one and all. You're still watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. It's 10:40 and the secondary runway for arrivals to open up is runway 27, which we can see the first airplane go to right now. Where did I see it? There it is. What's the ETA of the Emirates A380? Is it still 12:48 or at least well before 1 o'clock? Because if that doesn't change, today we are going to get the A380 here on the Polderbaan. There are 3 747s on the way that are expected to arrive, 1 before and 2 after the Emirates A380. And I'm now thinking that one arriving from Nairobi, what was its ETA? Wasn't that 11:25 or so? Because that now has become a candidate to be landing on runway 27. Cargolux arriving from Nairobi. ETA 12:46, says Moria, that's good. So the A380 is still bound for the Polderbaan as it stands, but will the Cargolux arriving from Nairobi? Is what I'm now wondering. I think we might lose that one to runway 27. Makes me curious. Well, let me see if I can check behind the screen, behind the scenes. Yeah, Cargolux is arriving 11:25. Can already see it on flight radar. Just had a quick look on my laptop. So the Cargolux 747 will lose to runway 27, unfortunately. That's going to go to the wrong runway. We ought to be able to see it from here still, though not as good as when it would have landed on the center runway, obviously. Good morning, King Turtle and Richard Vos, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, one and all. If you're new to the channel, don't be afraid to say hi in the chat if you want to. It isn't mandatory, but it is always appreciated when people tell us who they are, where they're from. If you have a question, if you're new to the channel, if you're new to the Netherlands or to Schiphol Airport, and you want to ask something, don't be shy, ask ahead. No such thing as a stupid question. Quite a few viewers over here who will happily be able to try to answer any questions you might have. So don't be shy. If you guys are enjoying the show, don't forget to drop a like if you haven't already, if you want to help this channel reach more people in the future. Liking and subscribing and sharing helps a great deal. Russell Crowe is foraging and is looking for, well, wheat kernels or what? But the field, what used to be the wheat field, is a few meters back. Over there, as far as I can see, is just gravel. Not really that much food-wise that I can see lying there, but then again, I'm not a crow, so what do I know? Like Jon Snow, not much. Nothing. Definitely a bit more blue over here in the westerly half of the sky, although as I am turning the camera not directly east of me, it's also a bit more clear, more further land inward, further to the east, more towards the horizon. There are more clouds, but it always looks a bit more cloudy when you look at the horizon, since it's more compacted. There might be as much spatial separation between the clouds over there as there is over here. It just looks different. El Al having arrived from Tel Aviv. And yeah, here again, appendages below the airport, the airplane. That's very typical for El Al. Some of the airplanes have them, others don't. It doesn't look like it is retractable, what you saw over there. Next up, KLM Flight 1002, arriving from London Heathrow, A321neo. After that, KLM 1918, which is over there, arriving from Zurich. And after that, Delta Airlines Flight 74, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. That's an A330 right there. Martien, goedemorgen. Big John, goedemorgen. Luca, good morning. Martin, good morning, mate. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Bas, goedemorgen. Not sure I already said hi to you. Don't think I did. Peter says, lovely weather to stream. You're absolutely right. Although at times, I'm in shorts. I've applied sunscreen to my legs. I am wearing my hoodie. And when the sun isn't shining as abundantly, when there are temporarily more clouds, it can get a little coolish, actually. But that's because the wind is pretty fierce. I think I am dressed optimally for today's weather. Lovely, lovely sunny en een bit cooler. Morgen.
Hoi, wat leuk om je eens een keer live te zien.
Met wie heb ik het genoegen? Adi.
Ja, hoi. Ik
Hey,
kijk
man.
af en toe naar je kanaal.
Leuk.
Heel grappig.
Leuk man, goedemorgen.
Je bent er echt bijna iedere dag, hè?
Nee. Ik ben er een paar keer per week. Het is donderdag tot en met zondag als het weer het toelaat en mijn agenda het toelaat.
Ja.
Maar ja, nee, ik probeer wel elke week toch wel minimaal een paar keer te gaan inderdaad, dat klopt.
Leuk joh.
Kom je van ver of woon je hier in de hoek?
Jij komt uit Ede. Dus
Ede?
heel erg goed hoek.
Dat is niet bepaald om de hoek, nee, niet echt.
15 jaar geleden of zo, 2007, dacht ik, weet je wat, ik wil iets leuks gaan doen, dus laat ik platformmedewerker worden.
Oh cool, ja.
En eigenlijk docent op de middelbare school was ik dat in die tijd.
Ja?
En heb je
Ja.
Dus ik dacht, ja, vliegtuigsport, ik vond het hartstikke leuk. Ik denk, ja, hoe dichterbij kun je komen?
Nou, niet denk ik.
Nee.
Niet, nee.
Dus ik heb 7 jaar of zo heb ik in de vakantie mooie academy bij.
Meen je niet? Wat cool, als een soort bijbaan.
Ja, dat was gewoon voor de lol erbij.
Wat leuk, man.
Ja, dat is echt heel leuk.
So Ari from Ede is here, and he is telling me how back in the day when he was also working as a teacher in the school vacations, he would also have a second job as a platform employee working at Schiphol. He's into airplanes, and he thought can't get any closer to the airplanes than that, which I don't think you can. So he did that for a couple of years. He was telling me just now in Dutch. Absolutely lovely. In the meantime, Delta Airlines Flight 74 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia is arriving over here. A330-300, 8 hours and 10 minutes on the way to November 815 November Whiskey. 19 years old, first flight January 2007. In the meantime, a very good morning to all who have joined. You're still watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and we are here at the Polderbaan, runway 18 right. Currently one of 2 runways open for inbound traffic. The wind is blowing from the west, double digits. And you can see it's crosswindy. Almost all of the wind is crosswind. We haven't seen any go-arounds yet, for those of you wondering. It's not gusty per se. So I'm not sure that we are going to get go-arounds, but it might be the case. We might see them. The reversers on the A330 working it like a treat. Working like a charm.
Hartstikke leuk.
Top, ja, leuk om te horen. Leuk dat je vaak kijkt.
Ja.
It's starting to get busy over here. As you can see, it's still school vacation here in the Netherlands, and the families have slept in, had their breakfast, and have now started doing things. And these families that you see over there have chosen to come to Schiphol today. And I think they chose a good day to be coming to the Polderbaan, because as it stands with the ETA of the A380, it is going to land here shortly before 1 o'clock. The first 747 of the show is expected in just over half an hour from now. Unfortunately, it looks like it will go to runway 27 since it is a 747 arriving from Nairobi. Those usually enter the country from the east, and that means they're getting assigned to the eastmost runway if there are 2 in use. And runway 27 is the eastmost runway for inbound traffic right now, open until approximately 11:40. So almost certainly is that 747 going to be landing on runway 27. There are 2 more underway that, at least last time I checked, were expected here shortly before 2 p.m. local time, which you can find at the bottom left corner of your screen, the time. Those are arriving from the west and should be landing here. And the Emirates A380 still expected before 1 o'clock. And that means there will only be 1 runway open for inbound traffic, and that's going to be this one. Air Arabia having landed here just now. You might be wondering, why isn't runway 27 open as primary runway? I don't think that the wind is fierce enough yet. If it were to pick up and would become more, 20 or so knots, then you'll see a change and you'll see that runway 27 will become the primary runway for inbound traffic, because the crosswind will become too great. Right now it is still manageable for most airplane types arriving here. And you'll see that runway 27 is used as secondary runway. It's not the preferred runway. The Polderbaan, this runway, and the Kaagbaan runway 0624 are. And due to noise abatement regulations, it means that these are the 2 runways that should be used as much as possible if weather is allowing it. Hey, is goed man. Leuk je even gesproken te hebben. Als je nog een keertje in de buurt komt, kom even gedag zeggen. Hè? Fijne dag nog. Dankjewel. Adi is continuing walking down the cycling path, up the cycling path to the north. Just said goodbye and I'll leave you to it. This is KLM Flight 1404 arriving from Paris. Nice big fat carrying cabin in the back. Runway 27 is open. And traffic to that runway is visible from here. No, that's not the traffic. That is just a bird. Try to see if I can find traffic to going to that runway as we speak. And there is something right there. Is that a bizjet? Oh yeah, it is a bizjet. I was already wondering why is it so small. Surely can be because it's so far away. Marissa says we got Royal Air Maroc coming in with a special livery number 5 for arrival. Looking forward to that. Thanks for the heads up, Marissa. Gary Grebe is also here. Yep, ducking. I'm still surprised how long he stayed above the waterline before diving under. Colin, goedemorgen. Star Aviation, goedemorgen, good morning. Welcome to the show, everybody. You're still watching Amos Live. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. If you are enjoying the show, don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. It will help to boost the algorithm and bring in more new viewers in the future. The more the merrier. If you're new to the channel, don't be afraid to say hi. Don't be shy. Don't feel like you aren't allowed to interact with the people over here. It's always nice when people introduce themselves. It's not mandatory, but it is always appreciated. And if you have any questions, if you're new to Schiphol, if you're new to the Netherlands or to the channel, ask. No such thing as a stupid question. We'll happily try to answer any questions you might have. That was Air Arabia Morocco arriving from Nador, which is in Morocco in the north of Africa. Turning back for our next arrival, which is WestJet Flight 70 arriving from Halifax, Canada. And after that, Royal Air Maroc, which has a special livery. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm clicking on the label now on Flight Radar. 60 years livery. That looks really nice. Wow, cool. Very much looking forward to seeing that land in a moment. First up, WestJet, allegedly the best jet, arriving from Halifax in Canada. Max 8737, flight time 5 hours 56 minutes. Interestingly, no Karen cabin on WestJet. Zringto asks in Dutch, when will we see you dance in front of the camera like a bird? The airplane dance. Well, that's whenever we get 1,000 likes in the stream while live. And yeah, that's up to you guys. I need 1,000 likes in the live stream for the first airplane dance and another one at 1,500. They come more cheaply after the first one, which will happen at 1,000 likes. Hey, Jeff is also back in the chat. Good morning, mate. Hope all is well. Apple Flaps, good morning. Nigel, good morning. Welcome to the show, everybody. Gorgeous glide slope shots here today. Royal Air Maroc special livery coming in. That will be a channel premiere. Royal Air Maroc 60 years livery. What a lovely livery. Arriving from Tangier in Morocco in the north of Africa. Let's quickly turn back the camera. Air Canada Flight 900 is arriving next and is very close by already. Arriving from Montreal in Canada. 7878 Dreamliner. The airplanes are still crabbing. Let me see if after this airplane has landed we have enough time to do an update of the weather report. Air measles. Yeah, in a way it does look a little like it has caught a virus or something, doesn't it? It looks better from the side than it does from the front. Air Canada having arrived from Montreal, Canada, 6 hours and 6 minutes. It has taken to get here. In the meantime, a massive big thanks to Fluffy Bunny from New York for another generous super chat. And he writes, subscribed, great channel. Thank you so much for the encouraging words. And also thank you so much for the donation. You really didn't have to do the letter, but thank you so much though. And also a big congratulations to Apple Flaps, who is celebrating 9 months of membership, heading towards the first year. You are indeed for 3 quarters on your way already. Congratulations on 9 months. Thank you so much for the support. I hope that the membership is still to your satisfaction. If it isn't, then let me know what you feel needs to change, and I'll see what I can do to make it better for you and all the other members. Apple Flaps, congratulations and thank you so much on 9 months of membership. Cargolux is arriving in Dutch airspace and will probably get its runway assignment in a moment. Undoubtedly runway 27. But if it isn't, then let me know. I'll happily be surprised by being wrong in my expectation in this regard, but I fear we're not going to get to see it. In the meantime, I'm updating the meter in the ticker, which is now giving us 14 knots of wind from 280 degrees. Let me see. I have to use a different source to copy paste the information from. That means I also have to update the font first, choose the right size and color, and now it is updated. The meter in the ticker has been updated. This is what it visually looks like. We still have wind almost exactly perpendicular to the runway heading. It's increased from 13 knots to 14 knots. Temperature is a stable 20 degrees Celsius, and we still have a stable layer of clouds. Earlier it was around 3,000 feet, now it's 2,800, so not much is changing. The wind is picking up a little bit, if anything, and yeah, conditions are very stable otherwise. Transavia just now landed. Another Transavia is next. And the A350 from Corendon will be number 2 now landing. In the meantime, Malky is also back in the chat and he is celebrating a membership anniversary, 37 months, that's 3 years and a month. Do I qualify for the vodka stroopwafel gift bag? I didn't even know we had those. What? Well, with 37 months in the pocket, I definitely say you are qualified for getting one of those gift bags made. Congratulations on 37 months and thank you so much for your long-standing support. It's always a great pleasure to have you in our midst and I hope you'll keep coming back for a long time to come. If not in the lounge as a member, then at least as a regular recurring visitor. I keep saying it, but I do mean it. Hope that the membership is still to your satisfaction, Malky. If you have suggestions for improvements, hit me up, let me know. But I didn't even know that the gift bags were a thing. Was that Lisa's initiative? I have to speak to her about that. Wasn't aware we even had gift bags. But yeah, that is definitely a nice gift bag with stroopwafels and vodka. Makes for a good combination. Add sugars to alcohol, that's always a good thing. Start producing more alcohol with the right conditions. Anyway, we're back to the airplanes right now. Corendon flight 5990 is arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. World to fly, 9 hours 5 minutes underway. A350 900, the ECNZF November Zulu Foxtrot. 3 years old. First flight May 2023. Now the single go around we have seen thus far. Although there was one tippy-toey landing from, I think, if I recall correctly, it was the A319 Lufthansa arriving from Munich. I'm surprised I still haven't seen any sight of the crayfish fisherman who was here already when I arrived and whose pickup truck is over there, the trailer. You can see his boat lowered into the canal and he apparently went the other way. I haven't seen him yet. I'm sure he's bound to be coming this way at some point, but I would have thought he would be here already. The next two airplanes are two Embraer 190s from KLM. The first one arriving from London City and the one behind it arriving from Southampton. It's narrow bodies, rush hour for now by the looks of it. An Embraer 175 coming in as number 3. 737 and A319 after that. All memberships being gifted. Arjan gifting 10 and then Malky gifting 5. Lads, thank you both so much for your generosity. That's 15 new members courtesy of you two guys. Hope that everybody who just received a membership from either Arjan or from Malky has said thanks already or will still do so. You can say thanks with by use of custom emojis. Make sure that you use those. They're at your disposal for a month if you receive a gifted membership. And there are no restraints in using them, so make sure that you use them, have fun with them, get creative. They'll be more fun that way. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, to the new members who just received a membership from either Arjan, who gifted 10, or Malky, who gifted 5. Thank you both so much, lads. Incredible generosity once again. Now, we're not allowed to look into the cockpit. First officer isn't allowing us. Looks like a bit of aluminium foil to block the sunshine. That was the Embraer 190 arriving from London City. This is the Embraer 190 arriving from Southampton. Behind it we can already see an Embraer 175 which is arriving from Chester. And there should be a 737 turning in from base to final. Though I'm not sure. Oh yeah, there it is. We can see it through the pipes of the excrement bridge. In the meantime, Stephen is also back in the chat, celebrating 21 months of membership. He writes, good morning to everyone. Good morning, mate, and welcome back. Congratulations on 21 months, Stephen. Hope that the membership is still much to your satisfaction. If anything is amiss, do let me know. And let me see what I can do to make it better. Always a pleasure to have you in our midst, and I hope you'll keep coming back for a long time to come. If not as a member in the lounge, then at least as a regular recurring visitor, mate. See you also updated your profile picture. Looking good there, mate. 21 months of membership. Stephen, aka Just Play Nuts, thank you so much and congratulations. More bits of aluminium foil over there. We've yet to see the first airplane who have dropped a message to us behind that bit of foil. It would be nice though, if ever there were a pilot to do that. Hi, goedemorgen.
Wij zijn Jan en Kobe.
Jan en Kobe, nice to meet you guys. Hey, goedemorgen. Jan en Kobe, who have arrived from where?
Beekbergen.
Who? Beekbergen. Wow, all the way from Beekbergen. That's further to the south in the Netherlands, in Brabant, isn't it?
Nee, bij Apeldoorn.
Gelderland, Veluwe. It's a bit more to the east. Dat zei ik.
Wij kijken altijd naar jouw kanaal.
Leuk. Jullie komen een dagje voor, naar Schiphol. Leuk. Nou, jullie hebben een goede dag gekozen. Als het goed is komt de A380 zo meteen ook hier. Die staat nog steeds gepland om voor 1 uur te landen. Dus dan is alleen de Polderbaan straks nog steeds open als het goed is. Dus de A380 die gaat hier gewoon komen als het goed is. Is goed. Hey, fijne dag jongens. Absolutely lovely. You can see they've brought their seats with them and they're continuing to sit back and enjoy the airplanes a bit further upstream, so to speak, to the north. If all is well, the sun should get back again. Right now we're standing in the shade, it's getting a bit cool, but if all is well, the sun should get out again. Won't be long. The sky is partly cloudy and partly open. The aspect of the sky to the west, it looks a bit more open. To the east and inward, it looks at the horizon particularly, it looks a bit more cloudy. It's almost always the case, the division between east-west, where the coastal regions are often most sunny. Kookwater, goedemorgen. Matthijs, goedemorgen. Gusria, good morning. Where the Holland combine machine? Well, the field is the wheat has been harvested. Next time the combine will come this way is probably to harvest the corn over there, and that still has to ripen. So I think we're not going to see the combine harvester in a while, but I'm sure it will come back to harvest the corn, which is a bit further to the north and still has to be harvested. Charlie Brown also back in the chat, tuning in from Orlando, Florida. Welcome back, mate. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again. Kookwater 6, praat stadiger. Stadiger, alsjeblieft. Ik probeer ook verstaan. Well, if I speak Dutch, as if you are from South Africa, you will undoubtedly understand most, if not all of it. Stadiger, what does that mean? Slower, more slowly? Is that African for more slowly? That's a word I don't recognize immediately. Ronnie, goedemorgen. Good to see you. Next EasyJet A319 arrived from Celiac City, aka London Luton. Look away if you are Luton intolerant, because this landing might give you cramps. Hey, Paul is also back in the chat. Good morning, Mr. Biker. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again, buddy. For those of you joining in later, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are here at Polderbaan, runway 18 right. Currently one of 2 runways open for inbound traffic, the other being runway 27. The reason for 27 over 18C is the crosswindy conditions. We have 14 knots of wind approximately. The wind is blowing more or less from the west directly. Means it's almost pure crosswind for the airplanes landing here. We haven't seen any go-arounds yet. The current runway configuration means that the cargo Lux 747 is going to the wrong runway and will be a bit hard for us to see. I can see it approaching Schiphol from the west, and it's not too far away. So I will turn the camera to the east in a moment to see if we can catch a glimpse of cargo Lux arriving from Nairobi. Tractor on the cycling path. New Holland to make hay bales, or is that a different machine? I'm not sure. Didn't we already see the tractor for the hay bales? I think we did. This might be a different contraption. Mass Manser, good morning. Good to see you again. And Fiercy is celebrating 3 months of membership. He writes, good morning, mate. Thank you so much and congratulations on 3 months of membership. Hope those months have been to your satisfaction till now. This is Iberia arriving from Madrid, flight 731, A320neo. Wood chipper. I thought I saw that that exhaust, or whatever you would like to call it, where all the bits come out, which is why I wasn't sure it was related to hay or if it was different. It was a wood chipper, right? Well, there you go. Somewhere over there ought to be a 747 wood chipper for politicians. It looks like there's an Embraer 175 creeping in before the 747. KLM 1816. I'm trying to find it in the sky so that I can follow it, but not seeing it yet. Think that the Cargolux, since that's still east of Almere, that's too far away for us to see already. Wish I could see it, but it's still too far away. Morgen Dries, and welcome to the show for everybody else who may have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. The first of 3 747s is going to be landing on runway 27 minutes from now. It's approaching Schiphol Airport. That's the only one getting away from us, if all is well. There are 2 747s on the way arriving from Miami, Florida, and they are expected here shortly before 2. The Emirates A380, last time we checked, it had an ETA of well before 1 o'clock, and therefore a likely candidate for the Polderbaan for 18 right. Obviously, that will still, whether or not it's coming here will depend on its actual ETA and its actual arrival time. ETA might still change as it is still underway to Schiphol. What has the ETA become? Is it still the same? Around 12:48? It was 12:48 last time we checked, which wasn't too long ago. TUI flight 757 arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao is approaching over here, and I think after this airplane will have landed, we ought to be able to see the 747 Cargolux arriving from Nairobi, which of course is in the capital of Kenya, a country in Africa. TUI flight 757 arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. 848 is its flight time, 8 hours 48 minutes. 12-year-old machine already. The Papa Hotel Tango Foxtrot Kilo. First flight was in May 2014. Will we get reversers? Doesn't sound like it, does it? Either reverse landing. That is, the slots of the reversers have opened, but they're not spooling up the engines to use them. Right, I think that's the Embraer 175. Yep, that's KLM 1816, arriving from Frankfurt. And further back, there ought to be a 747. Still flying a bit east of Weesp, which is still relatively far away. Currently flying at 3,025 feet, so the clouds are in the way a little. Trying to see if we can already spot a glimpse of the 747. Eversteria, good morning. Ducks abound? No, there aren't. Thus far, all we have seen in the water has been Gary Green. No coots, No ducks, just one grebe who keeps diving under for some reason. I think I have a visual on the 747. Just caught a glimpse of it. Now where is my reference on the ground? Yep, there it is. Right, so Cargolux flight 492 arriving from Nairobi in Kenya. This is the Lima X-ray Kilo Charlie Lima. An 18-year-old machine. First flight was in February 2008. Peter says that Emirates is not yet a done deal. Current ETA 12:52, so it's been losing a few minutes of time. 4 minutes, it was 12:48 earlier. Still with 8 minutes before 1. If it keeps being the way it is right now, I'm still inclined to say it's going to go to the Polderbaan, but it mustn't lose more time than it has already lost. Yeah, you're right, Malky. Kenya, isn't that in? Oh. Quite a few wide bodies are following this 747 to runway 27, unfortunately. Qatar, KLM. In the meantime, VDB 2000, aka Yannick and Rens, super chatted in Dutch, writing, next week we will be going to our 35th RC plane meeting in Les in Slovenia, probably mispronouncing that name, with 8 friends. We watch your streams regularly. If you want to wish us a great time, I can show the clip. Veel plezier jongens. De 35ste RC vliegtuigmeeting in Lesse, Slovenië. Veel plezier Yannick en Rens en de 8 andere vrienden. Have fun. If you guys have visited and have some pictures you want to share, you can always upload them in the community section, provided that you guys have been subscribers for more than a week. That's just one way of making sure we don't get any spammers here. But feel free to share some pictures of the meeting if you have some interesting ones to share. Have fun. Great to hear from you guys. Enjoy. Slovenia, probably a bit warmer than it is over here. Many parts in Central and Southern Europe going to the 40 Celsius, if not higher. That's how much? 110 Fahrenheit or so? Really warm. So that was the only 747 of today's show, going to runway 27 just now, having landed safely over there. In the meantime, an E2 Embraer 195 with a big fat Karen cabin is landing here on Polderbaan. Maxime also back. Good to see you. Welcome to the show, everybody else who may have joined. Matt, goedemorgen. Ooh. Choop, choop. We know that sound. We recognize that sound right away. That can only be one thing. A baby grebe in zebra livery. Feed me, feed me, feed me. Food, 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 food. Mommy, wait up, wait up. I want food. Mommy, don't go so quick. Feed me, feed me, feed me. hungry. Want to eat. What a cutie. I think I'm hearing something with a propeller overhead. I'm looking up to see if I can see it. See where it's coming from, but no luck. No luck. Let's see, this is KLM 1428, arriving from Lyon, Lion, Embraer 190. Hey Niflek, good morning. Flight time has been 1 hour and 6 minutes. No Karen cabin on this airplane. Karen will have to sit with the plebs in the main cabin if she wants to travel on this airplane. Bloody outrage. Big picture over here, where in the beginning of the show things were still calm and I was the only one here. Despite the fact that there's no grass here and just sand, quite a few people have shown up and are sitting here or half lying down even in the sand. Hopefully they brought towels with them. I do think I'm now seeing the contours of the boat of the crayfish fisherman, so he does seem to be coming this way now. Hey Patrick, goedemorgen. Peter has to go, unfortunately. Hope for you that the A380 will come to the Polderbaan. I'll look tonight. Yeah, make sure you do, mate. Fingers crossed. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for joining, Peter, and see you in the next one. Yuri, goedemorgen. Good to see you again, mate. Hope all is well. Hey, that's good news. That is good news. Yannick will post some pictures if he has any good pictures from the meeting. When I drive home on the A44 highway, I also sometimes drive past an RC airplane club. I think it's in Abbenes. So if I'm driving over the highway and I look to my left when driving home, I do occasionally see RC airplanes flying in circles over what looks initially like farmland, but there is an RC airplane club over there. So regularly when I've been streaming and drive home from Schiphol, I do see planes in the air over there. Initially I didn't know there was an RC club over there, and I thought, what is going on over there? Are those drones, or is that a stunt airplane practicing? But so close to Schiphol, how can that be? Anyway, I'm digressing. I'm sure quite a lot of you have already seen the, what was it? I think it was the A380 that Rami RC made from a copy. What was it? 1 to 10 or something? Really big. He could sit on it and taxi. It could hold his weight. It was the Lufthansa, the Orca, 100 years livery. Absolutely wonderful. I wonder if those are allowed to fly here in the Netherlands. You'll probably need either a regular pilot license or at least a very advanced RC piloting license. But knowing the Netherlands, it's probably not even allowed you're probably not even allowed to fly big airplanes like that. The clouds form a nice contrasty backdrop for airplanes to approach the runway with. It's 11:26, and if all is well, in 15 minutes from now approximately, the secondary runway 27, ought to close, and everything coming for Schiphol will come to this runway again exclusively until approximately 1 p.m. Here we have an E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Newcastle. Flight time 50 minutes. E2 Embraer, the Papa Hotel, November X-Ray Lima, 4 years old, first flight May 2022. I see people saying goodbye to Jackie, so that means Jackie unfortunately has to go. Thank you so much for joining, mate. Good to have you back. Hope you'll enjoy the rest of your day. I'll hopefully see you again soon. Leen, goedemorgen. Good to see you again, mate. Teun, goedemorgen. Welcome back. And also Adrian, who is tuning in from Moldova. Good morning. Sean Mack, also back. Welcome one and all, guys. Hope you're doing well. Happy Thursday. Here at Schiphol we have crosswind. Wind is blowing from the east. The airplanes are landing to the south. It's also the reason runway 27 is currently still open as secondary runway for inbound traffic. More headwind, less crosswind. Wind has been in the double digits from the start and the airplanes therefore are crabbing. Doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. There's still quite a lot of horizontality in the scale of chimney smoke chimneys. Earth, good morning, welcome back. Max, goedemorgen. And Yuri is celebrating 15 months of membership. It's a beautiful day, fortunately no longer warm, he writes. While celebrating 15 months of membership. Yuri, you're absolutely right. Fortunately, it's no longer as warm as it was before. But it is going to get warm again come Sunday. It will be 30 again. I hope it's going to be a bit short-lived. Hopefully we'll also start getting some rain. The Netherlands is getting seriously dry. Grass everywhere here in the Netherlands has turned yellow. The thing is, the water level here is higher than it ever has been. Almost as high as the top of the boards and the poles that have been renewed last year. But yeah, serious drought here in the Netherlands. Not the best year for farmers. Anyway, almost forget to say thanks to Yuri for 15 months of membership. Was distracted by his comment in the highlighted message, but let's not forget Yuri is also celebrating 15 months of membership. Thank you so much for your long-standing support, mate. I hope that you're still enjoying the membership and the lounge. Hope that the aircon is working well in the lounge and you're still nice and cool over there. If anything in the lounge can be improved, let me know and I'll see what I can do to make it better. Always great fun to have you in our chat, and I hope you'll keep coming back for a long time to come. If not in the lounge as a member, then at least as a regular recurring visitor. Our next airplane is KLM flight 604. It's a 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from LAX, and there should be an Embraer 175 behind it. Approaching from the left, turning in, turning final as we speak. Arriving from Humberside. Oh. From my left I keep hearing things, but I think it's traffic on the road and not so much an airplane or anything. For a moment I thought, is there another airplane, a propeller airplane coming my way overhead, but I think it might be a truck. Of course, the wind blowing from the west carries the sound of the provincial road that is on the other side of the field, carries it this way. Just like how when the wind is blowing from the east, you can hear the sounds on the apron, like GE90s starting really well. So too today you can hear the sounds from the road, the adjacent road, much better than normally would be the case. I also once again see that my bubble spirit is no longer indicating that the tripod head is perfectly level. Quick adjustment. Silver lining of my new tripod head is that it can align really quickly and easily. I see an outbound airplane going to Johannesburg, South Africa, and I don't have any outbound traffic filtered, so that only can mean it was the orange Pride that left just now. I'm trying to see if I can still spot it, but it's pretty far away already. Reversers actively being used by the Dreamliner. Relatively rare occurrence. KLM pilots usually don't use the reversers on the Polderbaan. As I thought, the Orange Pride has left for Johannesburg in South Embraer 175 arriving from Humberside up next, KLM flight 972, and that gives me a moment to update the METAR. Let me see if I can use the website that I normally am using. 9:25 Zulu time, that's 11:20. Yes. Had to resort to using a different source, and copying that information required me to also update the font size and color and type. Now I can just copy it and paste it rather easily, and we can see that the wind speed has increased even a bit further. It was 13 knots before, then it became 14, and now you can see in the METAR that it is now 15 knots. Almost pure crosswind. The wind is blowing from 250 degrees. Let me also see if I can show you the visual picture. Here it is. This is the wind, and this is how it is related to the airplanes landing on the Polderbaan. So it's almost pure crosswind, a bit of headwind, 15 knots, still few clouds at 2,800 feet. The air temperature hasn't changed and is still around 70 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. Big picture-wise, we can see the Orange Pride flying out to Johannesburg. We could see a glimpse of it just now. The Cargo Lux 747 that landed on runway 27. Emirates is flying over Austria and now has an ETA of 12:50. So still 10 minutes to 1. And with that ETA, it should land on Polderbaan still. Retrolux is also coming and is arriving here, expected around 5 minutes to 2. And behind it, I still see that that is not corrected, with an ETA earlier than the Retrolux 152, another 747 arriving from Miami, Florida. 2 747s arriving from Miami should be here around 2. When they get closer by and once again are being tracked by other sources than satellite, the ETAs will probably be updated. We'll see then what time they'll actually be expected to be arriving here. It's 11:35 and I think everything is coming to the Polderbaan again. Looking at Transavia 5792, arriving from Preveza, arriving from the east, continuing to the Polderbaan. So I think that the bizjet that we see on final 227, which still might do a breakaway landing to runway 22, is the only flight going to that runway for the time being. Means that the Polderbaan once again has become the only runway for inbound traffic. The airplanes are still crabbing as they have been all the while. Not a single go around yet, but that might still change. Nelson is tuning in from Portugal. Bom dia. Nigel unfortunately has to leave. Thank you so much for joining, Nigel. Enjoy the rest of your day and hopefully see you again in the next one. Patrick is back, and that rhymes a little. No, it doesn't rhyme, does it? I thought it rhymed. Means that I need a small sip of vodka, and I'll pour me that right now. Bottoms up. Time for a hydration break. During hydration breaks you need advertisements, so while I am taking a sip, why don't you guys like the show if you haven't already, if you are enjoying the show. So the excrement bridge is still here. The temporary replacement sewage pipes are still lying here. I do think that they have now dug in the new pipes, which is why this part was inaccessible for a while. I'm pretty sure the last bit of the project will be the removal of those metal pipes. It did take a while to lay them. I still remember because all of these bits have to be bolted together, and I remember that there were guys, workers who who attached them and firmed them up manually. So I imagine they also have quite some work to do to get these unbolted again at when it's time to pack them up again. Recently I had a look on the internet to see if I could find information about the project and the expected duration. And it was mentioned that it was a project that was going to last until the end of 2026. Now I'm not sure if that pertains to the entire project or just the last bits of it. And if so, if this is the last bit or the first bit. I fear it might be the last bit of the project and that it began closer to the urbanized area of Hoofddorp. Hey, Han is also back. Good to see you, mate. Hope you've been well. Ramon, goedemorgen. Pilot EHAM asks if I'm going on vacation, or at least I'm assuming you're asking that to me. Don't have any vacation plans in the nearby future. I'm more of a skiing guy, so if I do plan vacations, they are usually in the winter time, in the winter months. Malky says, so it'll no longer be the Polderbaan. Sad times. Yeah, it's a shitty situation. Absolutely it is. The pipes will find their Waterloo over here. Nice little wheelie. Even with the nose gear down, the airplane seems to be leaning backwards. As if it is back heavy. Quite unlike the A330, which has a tendency to lean forward. Okie-dokie. All the airplanes inbound for Schiphol are once again coming to Polderbaan. That's now established. A couple of narrow bodies, 3 of them to be precise, will be landing here first, and then the 4th will most likely be a 777 arriving from Vancouver, which is still flying downwind and about to turn base. So I am now looking to the northwest to see if maybe I'm able to catch a glimpse of that triple, because visibility is really good, provided that you know where you need to look. I am quite sure that the triple ought to be visible from here, even though it might only be a small glimpse. The hard part is that you need to know where you need to look. Based on what you see on flight radar, which isn't always accurate, makes it quite hard. You need to be lucky to see the airplane. Indeed, Paul, Karen is in the back. She's put on a bit of weight, only barely fitting in the Karen cabin. I thought oh yeah, I was about to say I thought I saw the crayfish fisherman, but now I no longer do. But I spoke too soon because I'm not sure. The camera is always a bit lower than my eyesight is, than my eyes are, but I think he's over there. He's checking the nets and he's coming this way. You can see that the poles are again placed in the canal over here. That means nets below the waterline to catch crayfish. An invasive exotic species here that has no natural enemies and is needs to be combated, unfortunately. Apparently they make good food. We've seen several news items here in the Netherlands of chefs, restaurant chefs, who make tasty meals out of them. Transavia flight 5792 already established and turning in, or at least just now turning in, and now also established on the glide slope is KLM 1944, arriving from Basel. That's an Embraer 190. Here in the foreground we have an A321neo, and the triple auto turn in from the left. I'm not sure if we're able to see it already, or if maybe the clouds are in the way. Martin says, US crayfish cause the same problem in the UK. Yeah, that's exactly what we have over here as well. In Dutch we call them Amerikaanse rivierkreeft, American river lobster, more commonly known as crayfish. Well, where's the triple? There's the triple. Means we'll have a nice linear 3-airplane glide slope shot for a brief moment. Right now. Hey Bram, goedemorgen. Good to see ya. Vicky. Good morning. Transavia flight 5792. Returning from Preveza, which is in Greece, which allegedly is bliss. 2 hours and 38 minutes of flight time. The Papa Hotel Yankee Hotel Papa. That's a symmetrical registration. Read it backwards, it'll still say the same. Another one of those Transavias with their updated livery, Polderbaan and more green on the cowlings and on the tail. School vacation time, and that means it's busy over here. Decent weather, lots of families and people. Either they are standing on the tarmac of the roundabout where this bridge begins, or they're sitting in the field. Hopefully they've brought blankets or towels with them to sit on. Here it is still very sandy and rocky, and we need more rain in order for the grass to start popping up, to get things green again. Henk Speelman has to go, unfortunately. Thank you so much for your kind words and for joining us, Henk. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you again soon. This is KLM flight 1944, arriving from Basel in Switzerland. It's German Airways, flying on behalf of KLM, and the bottom of the airplane is still BA Blue. Making things a bit more complex. I'm hearing overhead traffic, and I'm seeing it. Although it's hardly producing a contrail, the airplane is standing out quite nicely. Lufthansa A350? Is it? The winglets look a bit curled. Barely producing a contrail, but I was hearing it, and looking up I could immediately see it, because you can see it stands out quite clearly against the blue backdrop. That's my luck. 777-300 arriving from Vancouver in Canada, KLM flight 682. 8 hours 48 minutes of flight time. This is the Papa Hotel Bravo Victor Victor. 5-year-old machine. KLM flap surfaces, at least the flap surfaces of the wide-body fleet, almost always immaculate, and this is no exception. Looks very good, very clean. I still suspect KLM to have a sort of car wash for their airplanes. Either that or they are using interns to thoroughly wash the airplane's flap surfaces, but they almost always look spotlessly clean. Much cleaner than on other airplane carriers. Next up will be KLM flight 984. That's an Embraer 190 arriving from London City, and after that an E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Eden in Scotland. We can already see the lights twinkling of the ladder over there. Slowly but surely coming this way. Hey, Michael also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. He's been here since the start of the stream, lurking. Unfortunately, his wife isn't feeling well. I hope she'll feel better soon, mate. Hope it's nothing too serious. Now, what's next after these two airplanes? We'll have a little break by the looks of it. I do see that there is a TUI MAX 8 737 approaching from the southwest, but it's still flying in the vicinity of The Hague. It still is several minutes out. So after the two airplanes now in the shot visible, we'll have to wait a little. A rare moment of calm. It's been ages since we last saw Captain Wheelie, hasn't it? I'm trying to recall when we last saw a lengthy wheelie that was possibly Captain Wheelie, but it's been a really long time ago. Next up will be an E2 Embraer 195, and after that we'll have to wait a while before the next airplane is coming in. Hoi. Hey, tof. Hoe heet je? Max. Hi Max. Ik ben Boy. Nog meer jongens. Goedemorgen. Hoi, ik ben Boy. Hi.
Ik ben Des.
Hi. Goedemorgen jongens. Zijn jullie broertjes?
Wij zijn tweeling.
Jullie zijn een tweeling. En jij bent ook een broer?
En onze vader is broer.
Wat leuk.
Is geadopteerd.
Wat cool. Wat cool. Ik dacht al, jullie lijken ontzettend op elkaar.
We stonden daarachter.
Wat zeg je?
We stonden daarachter.
Jullie stonden daarachter. En gaan jullie nu weer terug naar de parkeerplaats?
Ja. We gaan nu naar de zee.
Jullie gaan nu naar de zee. Nou,
En daarna gaan we naar de mensen.
maar blijven jullie niet hier voor de A380? De hele grote van Emirates. Want die komt over een uur. En die gaat, als het goed is, hier landen, die hele grote.
We gaan ook nog naar een museum.
Jullie gaan nog naar een museum? Welke?
Papa's.
Corpus in Leiden. Ik ben daar laatst geweest. Dat is een hele leuke. Dat ga je leuk vinden.
Ja, en ik mocht ook kiezen, want...
Nou jongens, heel veel plezier dan.
doei.
Fijne dag. Doei doei. KLM flight 924 arriving from Edinburgh in Scotland. Big fat cabin in the back. And a couple of young lads came over to say hi. They were watching further up ahead. One of them identical twins, or two of them I should say. Dressed in the same clothes. And they are going to a museum now, the Corpus Museum in Leiden. Very nice if you haven't been. Right, so as I was saying, we have to wait a little for the next traffic to be arriving. The MAX 8 is coming this way, and I'm hoping we might be able to catch a glimpse of it when it passes by west of us. It's now already in the vicinity of Noordwijk, but it does look like it's a bit more to the west and not exactly over the coastline. So it will be pretty far away. That doesn't mean I'm not going to try to see if I can spot it. Though it is a small plane, far away. There aren't that many clouds looking in the direction that the MAX 8 is supposed to be coming from. But again, like I said before, you still need to know where you need to look. That's always the hardest part. Since the airplane is constantly moving, if you are not in the area where it is actually flying, you might miss it altogether. It does seem to be flying pretty far off the coast, so we're looking for a MAX 8 737. But whether or not we are able to see it from here, I'm not sure, but I'm giving it a go. Usually you need to look in the vicinity of the power cables. It's usually not too high above the horizon. It should be getting really close by now. At least based on what you see on flight radar. I'm scanning left to right visually now, looking over the camera in the vicinity of the power lines to see if maybe I see something moving. It's approaching Haarlem right now, so on paper it should be close by. Whether or not we are actually able to see it, I'm not sure. But as you can see, there are definitely open bits of sky over there. Anything flying there, provided it is close enough and high enough for us to see, ought to be visible. I think it has already passed us by. I'm not able to see it. It's easier to see the outbound traffic from Karbaan. Chinese Schiphol is coming this way. Looks like it will do a big turn and will pass by overhead. Also be a good frame of reference for us to see how high the clouds are actually at. Now, it's hit the clouds, but it will re-emerge again. Yeah, there it is. There you go. In the meantime, Ilko is celebrating 21 months of membership. He writes, still on vacation, but need my dose of AMS live. Where are you at? How has the vacation been thus far? Enjoy, mate, and thank you so much. Congratulations on 21 months of membership. Hope that everything in the lounge is still to your satisfaction, mate. If you have any improvements or suggestions for improvements, let me know. Chinese cargo triple outbound going to China. Cloud surfing. All right, let me turn back so that the camera cables don't get tangled. Messmancer is going out for lunch. Enjoy, mate, and see you later. As expected, we weren't able to see the MAX 8 on its downwind leg. It is now base coming in, gear already out, obviously now quite easily visible. Quite a bit of heat wave distortion. Then again, we are zoomed in digitally quite far. This is the top end of optical zoom. Things look a bit more stable when the zoom is limited to that. Got a couple of wide bodies coming in. Right after this Max 8 we're now looking at, there will be an A330-200. It's flying base and also turning in according to flight radar. After that, an E2 Embraer arriving from London, and after that, Delta with an A330neo arriving from Tampa in Florida. More traffic also arriving from the east to southeast. That's a BizJet, but that's probably not coming this way. Although every now and then we do get BizJets here on Polderbaan, but most of the time they are directed to the Schiphol Oostbaan runway 0422. And with the prevailing wind, it seems logical that it's going to the glide stop of 27 and breaking away to runway 22 to be landing with mostly headwind. Jero is tuning in from Arlington in Texas. He's found the cowboy hat emoji to go along with it. Welcome back, mate. David Wolf, what is up, mate? Well, hopefully not my cholesterol or blood pressure. Good to have you back, mate. Welcome to the show, everybody else who may have joined later. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are here at windy Schiphol Airport with crosswind conditions here on the Polderbaan, runway 18 right. 1747 went to runway 27. 2 more are on the way and should be here shortly before or around 2 o'clock, arriving from Miami. Ought to be candidates for this runway. Last time we checked, the ETA of the Emirates A380 was 10 minutes to 1, and that makes it a candidate today to be landing here on the Polderbaan as well. If it stays expected to be here before 1 o'clock, with a bit of a margin, preferably. For those of you wondering, we haven't seen any go-arounds yet. If you're new to the channel, don't be afraid to say hi. It isn't mandatory to introduce yourself, but it is always appreciated when viewers tell us who they are and where they're from, particularly if they're new to the channel or new to the Netherlands or Schiphol Airport. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. No such thing as a stupid question. We'll happily try to answer any of your questions. If you guys are enjoying the show, don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already. If you want to help this channel reach more people in the future who haven't learned of the channel yet, but who might also want to join us in future streams. Liking, subscribing and sharing is definitely helping that. Ruzgar is tuning in from Istanbul in Turkey. Welcome to the show, mate. Hope you're doing well. This is KLM flight 676, arriving from Bonaire. Part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, if I'm not mistaken, but the legal status is complex. We have islands in the Caribbean Sea. I think they are either separate entities within the kingdom or they are municipalities. I think you are allowed to go there with a European passport without passport checks, but I'm not sure exactly how it works. Bonaire, at least in the Caribbean Sea, just off the coast of Venezuela, which is right next to. 9 hours of flight time to get here, and this is the Papa Hotel Alpha Oscar Bravo, the FOAB. It's a 21-year-old machine, the first flight of which was in July of the year 2005. Independent countries within the Kingdom of the Netherlands, says Nick. So, bit of like a Commonwealth of the Netherlands then. Anyway, this is where it's coming from, and now it is here. Will we get any reverser action? Probably not, being KLM. Yeah, we qualify this as a typical KLM landing. Keeping up the speed, vacate late, sooner to the gate. Idle reverse thrust. The slots open, but they don't spool up the engines. Most of the time here at the Polderbaan, it isn't even necessary. It's a very long runway. If I'm not mistaken, it is the longest of the entire airport. Or is it? If there's another runway longer than the Polderbaan, by all means do correct me, let me know. I always thought that the Polderbaan was the longest. So we have windy conditions. Temperature has been stable throughout the show. 20 Celsius, roughly 70 Fahrenheit. The wind is blowing from the west. It's almost pure crosswind with a little bit of headwind now, with the wind having turned a little bit southwesterly. No go-arounds yet. The Emirates A380 expected within the hour. What time is its current ETA? Or why don't we have a look in a moment? Over here we have an E2 Embraer 195 arriving from London Heathrow. KLM flight 1004, and I hear you say London? Yes, London.
You know, fish, chips, cup of tea, bad food, worse weather, Mary fucking Poppins, London.
Hadi Cor, goedemiddag. Welcome to the show, mate. Big fat Karen cabin in the back. And a protruding belly, as if she were pregnant. Yeah, I said it before, I can't say it enough times. Some airplanes, with some airplane types that bulge where the main gear retracts into, I'm sure there's a formal name for it. On some airplane types it protrudes like a belly of a woman who is pregnant and is in the last stages of her pregnancy. The A330 is also one of those airplane types. If you compare that, for instance, to the triple coming in next, or if you compare it, here's an A330 as an example of what I mean, another example. But if you compare it with, for instance, a 777, or for instance with an A350, you'll see it's much more streamlined, and that belly isn't protruding as much. Thank you, Mario, for the update. ETA of the A380 is now 12:52, so that is still comfortable, although it is less now than it was before. But it's been hovering between 12:48, 12:50, 12:52. It has been consistently expected around 10 to 1. As long as it doesn't change last minute, more towards 1 o'clock, we should be good still. We should still be good. Hey, Peter Alding also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Welcome back, buddy. We had to wait for him for a long time, but there he is. he isn't hearing.
Hij stopt ermee.
Ja, ik dacht al, waar blijf je? Ik zag je.
Slang is los.
Hey, ik dacht het al. Ik zag al dat je er was. I'm just saying to him, I was wondering where you were. But finally he's made it to check the nets on this side of the canal as well.
Hij doet het weer.
Hij doet het weer, mooi! The engine quit on him, but now it's continuing to move again. In the meantime, KLM flight 948 is arriving from Belfast in Northern Ireland. And Embraer 190, flight time 1 hour and 6 minutes. The Papa Hotel Echo Zulu Papa, a 16-year-old machine, first flight March 2010. Dinner is coming. The crabs are going to be harvested anytime soon. We'll probably get the chance to see it and see what the harvest of one of those nets is when he will be clearing the net that is between the two poles that you see over there. The other pole, a bit harder to see, but over there. And in between them, under the water surface, there is a net. I asked the man before he checks the nets. When he does have nets here, he checks them twice a week. So we ought to be able to see what 3 to 4 days of fishing yields. Hey Chantal, good to see you again. Welcome back. Hope all is well. Robert, goedemiddag. And welcome back. Welcome to everybody else who may have joined in the meantime as well. Welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. This is the Polderbaan. 18 right is the runway number. And for another little hour, just under an hour, the only runway for inbound traffic. Earlier this morning, runway 27 opened up as secondary runway for inbound traffic due to the wind direction and speed. Since the wind has only increased in speed and hasn't changed direction significantly, I am expecting runway 27 to open up at 1 o'clock. It means that the Emirates A380 will go there if its ETA will get in the vicinity or over 1 p.m. Last time we checked, its ETA was still 10 minutes to 1, and that is comfortable enough for us to stand a good chance of seeing it here. The closer it gets, the ETA to 1 o'clock, the lower our chances of being able to see the orange. I keep wanting to say orange pride, but it is the Emirates A380 we're waiting for, and of course the two 747s expected from Miami. That ought to land here regardless of how many runways are open. Unless, yeah, there's always an unless. Unless, of course, at the time of arrival, debris was found on the runway and it's temporarily closed because the bird controller has to get the FOD off the runway first. Here we have Hans' favorite, Vueling, flight 8309, arriving from Barcelona. A320. Does it still come equipped with that dot? That's the one thing we check for here. Affirmative. This one is approved and is allowed to continue to the gate. If it misses the dot, well, run for cover, all hell will break loose and world order as we know it will come to an end. Then again, if that is whether or not that is a bad thing is a whole different matter. It's time for a couple of Airbuses with an A330-300 here in the foreground and an A350 in the background. The A350 belonging to Delta, flight 136 arriving from Detroit. Here in the foreground, KLM arriving from Toronto, flight 696. 6 hours and 46 minutes on the way. The KLM, of course. Flight radar says it's coming in from Toronto, but is it? Because this is the Papa Hotel Alpha Kilo Echo, aka the fake. Is this airplane real? Is it not? Is this all an optical illusion? Is it really coming in from Canada or is it coming from somewhere else? You guys be the judge. It looks real, but the airplane says it's fake. Maybe I am mispronouncing it and you should pronounce it Fucky. Papa Hotel Alpha Kilo Echo. Fucky? Faki? Fakey? Fakey. Lil Fakey. That sounds like a rapper's name. My name is Lil Fakey. Alex NZ4 is tuning in from Christchurch, New Zealand. Kia ora, good evening and welcome to the channel, mate. More Kiwis in the chat. Then under being well represented again. Always quite a few Aussies and Kiwis in the chat. Welcome to the show, one and all. A350 in the foreground and it looks like another wide body in the background. Yep, Delta Airlines with an A330 Neo, flight 144, arriving from Seattle. Now, if you guys are enjoying crabby airplanes like this, don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already. Your likes and subscriptions really help to bring in more people in the future, boost the algorithm as it were. Hey Wouter, goedemiddag. All well on my end, mate. Thank you for asking. Hope all is well with you as well. Delta Airlines 136 shining brightly in the sunshine. What a gorgeous machine. Now here you can see the protruding belly as well, but it looks a bit more sleek, at least to me it does. If you pay attention to it, you can see it's still there, but to me at least, it looks it's less in your face than it is with the A330 and particularly with the E2 Embraers. Anyway, that's what airplane spotting, what makes airplane spotting so nice. So many details that you can see, that you can wonder about. The airplanes are still crabbing. The wind is still double digits and almost purely crosswind. I'm checking the meter and the meter now says wind 270, 16 knots. So 16 knots of pure crosswind, ladies and gentlemen. Wondering why the airplanes are crabbing, that's your reason. Updating the ticker as we speak. The latest meter having been pasted in the chat, in the ticker right now. So the primary wind direction is 270 degrees, 60 knots of wind. It means pure crosswind. The runway this airplane is landing on is oriented north to south or south to north. That was the shade over the dike. Hope you guys were able to see it. Delta Airlines Flight 144 arriving from Seattle, Washington. 9 hours and 7 minutes on the way to November 429 Delta X-Ray. 2-year-old machine. First flight July 2024. So this airplane just turned 2 last month. Tippy toey, leaning in against the wind until the very last moment. After the main gear is on the ground, correcting with rudder to place the nose on the center line. You may be wondering, boy, have we already seen go-arounds? The answer is no, not yet. Not a single one. I'm not sure that we are going to get them because the wind is very constant. It's not very gusty. It's usually when winds are gusty that it's more likely to get go-arounds. Now, looking up and around me, there are definitely gaps of blue sky between the clouds, more to the west than to the east. But that's normal for summertime. What I am struggling to see is overhead traffic. On occasion I hear something. Only once have I been able to show you something passing overhead, and as you were able to see back then, the airplane that I was able to film didn't produce a contrail or hardly visible and very short-lived. Makes that you need to see the airplane as it is passing overhead in order to be able to film it. With a quick moment to spare before our next arrival will get close by, so why don't we have a quick look on Flight Radar to see what's coming. Transavia Retro is coming, but it's going to Rotterdam. I already saw that this morning. So unfortunately it left from Amsterdam, but is returning to Rotterdam and isn't coming here yet. Over the heart of Germany, well, a little bit west of the heart, we have the Emirates A380 with an ETA of 1252. Once it enters Dutch airspace, we'll get the runway assignment and I will be very curious to hear what it will be. Earlier, Retrolux had an ETA of 155, but that was when it was still flying over the ocean. Now it's being tracked more accurately when it is in the vicinity of Ireland and over inhabited parts of the world again. Now the ETA has become 126 and that of the other Atlas behind it 137. I will stick around until all these airplanes will have landed. The quads that I just showed you are still expected for Polderbaan as it stands. The most exciting one, whether or not it's going to land here, will be the A380. Its ETA must stay the way it is right now. If it gets closer to 1 o'clock, we do run an increased risk of missing out on it. And I'm afraid it might go to runway 27 then, because that's what's been the secondary runway for arrivals thus far. T. Welsh 12 string is asking, why is with this wind runway 27 not in use? There are a few reasons for that. The first one being that the wind isn't hard enough for it to become the primary runway yet. Well, no, that's the secondary reason. The primary reason is that we have preferential runways at Schiphol Airport. The Polderbaan, this runway, is one of the two. The other being runway 0624, the Kaagbaan. That's due to noise abatement regulations. This runway was created at the location it is situated. Due to its location, arrivals here cause less noise to the people living around Schiphol than using other runways. And the same goes for the Kaagbaan. Using that for inbound and outbound traffic is relatively less taxing on the people living around Schiphol Airport. If you use runway 27, the airplanes either take off over the south of Amsterdam and Amstelveen, or they need to, when used for arrivals, need to come in over inhabited, densely populated places on relatively low altitude. So they do open up runway 27 on days like today as secondary runway, but that's only for an hour on and then off for another hour. Meanwhile, this runway stays the primary runway all throughout. But if the wind were to increase and it would get stormy, 25 with gusts to 35, you can bet on it that Schiphol will open up runway 27 as primary runway for inbound traffic. And with severe storms, we've been there before. I've done streams with storm-like conditions where the wind was blowing from the west, where the wind was so severe that only one runway actually was open for both inbound and outbound traffic, and that was runway 27. Quite spectacular. I would love to see that happening much more regularly, have inbound and outbound traffic taking place on the same runway simultaneously. But yeah, that's the reason. So noise abatement regulations and yeah, the wind isn't fierce enough yet to make it the primary runway. I see that Yin is back, as is Sander Sake. Good to see you, mate. A quick hey, hope you're doing well, mate. Sander Sake back in the chat. Delta Airlines Flight 164 in the meantime, having arrived here and will be landing next. Arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's an A330 Neo, 7 hours and 21 minutes on the way. The November 428 Delta X-Ray. 2-year-old airplane, first flight June 2024. Little tiptoey, but as to be expected with the amount of wind. Oh, bumpy. Bumpy nose gear touchdown. And some reverse action as well. Sander is wondering about the grass. We haven't had enough rain yet, mate. It's still the same as it was when you were here a week ago. Hasn't changed significantly. We need more rain for it to commence. Oh, is that the A350? I think it is. I think it's the Finnair A350 going back to bloody Helsinki in Finland. At least it sounds... Yeah. I was about to say, the low roar sounded like XWB engines. Finnair Flight 13 something going back to bloody Helsinki in Finland. Missed its arrival. It's always a bit too early. Only when it is delayed do I stand a chance of being able to film it in the beginning of the show. It's usually here at around 9:15 or something. John, goedemiddag. Marcel, goedemiddag. And Zrikinto says we need an airplane dance. We need 1,000 likes to get that. How far along have we come? Not very. We're not halfway there yet. I see 475, so we're still 525 likes short of an airplane dance. Deck boy tuning in from Ireland, good morning and welcome to the channel, mate. If you are new to the channel, don't be afraid to say hi. Don't be shy. It's not required to say hi. It is always appreciated though, when people tell us who they are, where they're from. If you are new to Schiphol, if you are new to the Netherlands, if you are new to the channel, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask them. No such thing as a stupid question. We'll happily try to answer any questions you might have. Quite a few of us are watching. Together we know quite a lot. Sandstorm. I was wondering, is there a sand whirlwind forming? But it just looks like regular sand. Former church, now converted to office spaces. And in the background, the top of what is called the Rembrandt Tower, a high-rise in Amsterdam near Amstel station, which I think used to house the HQ of Philips when it moved to Amsterdam back in the day. It always used to be in Eindhoven, which is where Philips originates from, but they moved it to Amsterdam. I'm not sure. Is it still occupied by Philips? Or have they moved? Now they moved to one of the adjacent buildings, didn't they? When that got built, there are a couple of high rises over there. Anyway, Elwa also back in the chat. Good afternoon. Mart, goedemiddag. Tuning in from Julianadorp. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Shamrock Flight 604, arriving from Dublin, Ireland, an A321neo. Aer Lingus. If you're wondering, have we seen any go-arounds yet? The answer is no. All the pilots have landed in one go. I don't think a single one came close to going around. There was one tippy-toey landing. Lufthansa 2302 from Munich did do a little tiptoey landing with the main gear, touching down with the left one first, then the right one first, then the left one, but didn't have to go around. John wonders if I am using AI during these shows. No, I don't. It's all manual control with the camera. Zooming out, zooming in, going to left, going to right, bottom, and top. It's all done by two hands. Operated by yours truly. There is a Chinese triple flying base and approaching the Polderbaan. I'm not sure I'm able to see it yet, but I am going to give it a go to see if we can spot it already. I think that the clouds are in the way. It's Chinese triple, arriving from Chongqing in China. I'm clicking on its label. Oh, it's 4,500 feet, so it's too high for us to see already. Scale of chimney smoke chimneys are showing a bit more verticality compared to what they looked like before. It's interesting because the METAR here has been saying that the wind here has increased bit by bit as time progressed. The windsock over there is quite excited. Bit of Viagra in the air over here. Jan Nijmeijer is writing in Dutch, nice footage. Goedemiddag, mooie beelden. Thank you so much for the kind words, mate. I'm doing the best I can. Happy to hear that you are enjoying the footage. Hope everybody is, of course. And if you are enjoying the show, don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already. If you want to help this channel grow, if you want to help us reach more people who haven't met the channel yet, but who would be willing to join us, liking and subscribing and sharing is definitely helpful. Hey, that's not what I wanted to hear, Maria. Maria says ETA of the A380 having become 103. That's not good news. That's the triple with my screen in the way, but here it is. It's getting close. 104. What? This isn't good news. This isn't good news at all. Just a few more minutes. Once it enters Dutch airspace, you'll be able to see its runway assignment via Omgevingsinfo Schiphol, which is a website where you can see the assigned runway. Let me see if I can find it and show you. It's always the Casper Aero flight tracking. The URL is rather extensive, but here you can see it. Accept, continue, and we can zoom out and look for the Emirates A380 if we are able to see it already. It doesn't show over here on my website, so I don't think we are able to see it just yet. ETA 104, that doesn't bode well. I'm sure you guys will keep an eye out for it, and once it does become visible and it does have a runway assignment, I'm sure you guys will let us know. But that doesn't bode well. Fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. All the while it was flying to the Netherlands, all the while its ETA was between 12:48, 12:52, 12:50. Now all of a sudden, past 1 o'clock. Absolutely incredible. Right, the Thai A350 is also coming this way. It's flying over Markham and ought to be coming this way. Probably still at an altitude that the clouds are in the way of being able, of us being able to see it. A380 gleich da. Ja, indeed. Aber wo soll es gehen? Welche Bahn geht er? That's the question. Runway 27? Don't tell me it's going to be runway 27. I am once again hearing traffic overhead. I think it's a Delta that we are able to see. Just passed us by. Yeah, I'm not going to try and find it. It's not producing a contrail. Airplanes overhead today aren't producing contrails. Really hard to see them. Well, I can see them visually, but there's no no contrail that you can follow. That makes it harder to find them with the camera. China Southern Cargo, flight 2697 arriving from Chongqing in China. 10 hours and 6 minutes on the way. Spool up those reversers, please. Thank you. Here we go. Flap surface check. We've seen worse, but compared to KLM, apples and oranges. Iceland Air Flight 500 will be next, arriving from Reykjavik in Iceland. That's an A321neo today. The A380 entered Dutch airspace, says Michel. Now, when I had a look just now and you were able to see it, I wasn't able to see the A380 on the Omgevingsinfo flight radar yet. Okay, everybody says Polderbaan. That's good news. So we are lucky then, with the A380 still going to the Polderbaan. With its ETA past 1 o'clock, it got exciting really quickly. And suddenly, I didn't expect that jump in time after it had been so constant all throughout. Anyway, Polderbaan, so that's good news. Means that we are still going to get the A380 over here. And if you guys have seen on flight radar as well, there are two 747s arriving from Miami that will land here within half an hour after the A380 will have landed here. So if you don't have to be anywhere, stick around because, well, be around to see those two 747 landings here as well. Gotta catch them all. Icelandair with their new livery. Dime in a dozen. Very boring, very uninspired, I think. Especially compared with what they had before this. The dark blue and orange, I think it looked infinitely better. We were lucky not too long ago to see one of their Boeing 757s in that old livery coming to Schiphol once again. They also had gorgeous special liveries, which I'm sure most of you will recall. Aurora and whatnot. Intricate gradients and beautiful, beautiful airplanes. Those two used to come to Schiphol. I still have streams that featured them. Whenever they were featured in a stream, I think without an exception, I always used to use them as a thumbnail. So it's an easy way for you guys, if you want to see those 757s again, you can browse the list of old streams, and when it is featured, almost certainly I would have used it as a thumbnail. KLM flight 1614 also sounded like they were spooling up the reversers ever so slightly. Just temporarily. Another contraption in the field. That's probably to wrap up bales of hay. Yeah, I think they use something similar in warehouses as well. For all the stuff that goes onto trucks. That's a wrapping machine to wrap bales of hay. Or is it straw? Ah, there's another one. Picked up. Here we go. Wrap, wrap, wrap. That's a wrap. Oh, that works nicely. Rotating the machine, rotating the bale. I was wondering what I was hearing. If I turn the directional camera that way, maybe you're able to pick up the sound I'm hearing here a bit better. Now, I am not going to linger on the agricultural activities when there is an A350 next to land here. Here we have Thai Airways, flight 936 arriving from Bangkok. That's the Hotel Sierra Tango Hotel Oscar. 11 hours and 18 minutes on the way, ladies and gentlemen. 6 years old, first flight August 2019. It's hay. And the hay ferments within the plastic, which makes it even better food. There you go. Fermented hay. Simply the best. Mark says, I think flight radar made a boo-boo with the A380. The ETA is back to 12:53. That may well have been the case, mate. I was surprised already by the jump because it had been very consistent all throughout the morning. Anyway, as my old geography teacher used to say in middle school, vraag niet hoe het kan, maar profiteer ervan. Don't ask why, just profit because of it. Or profit off of it. Right, that was Thai. Is Vietnam coming today as well, or just the Thai? There are more tractors. I'm not sure if I can show you. There are people in the way. Yeah, no, there are. So these are probably to collect the haystacks. Not sure, but it would make sense to me. If they're now making the bales, they also need to be collected. That's probably the job of the other two tractors. Right, so the A380 is coming this way. Absolutely lovely. 2 747s expected. Half an hour after the A380. Should be here within the hour. So 3 quads coming in the next hour. If you don't have to be anywhere, sit back and enjoy the show, guys. Because we're going to stick around to catch them all, just like Pokemon. If you guys are enjoying the show, don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already. Liking, subscribing and sharing is definitely a good way to help this channel for free to reach a wider audience and grow. The more the merrier. If you are new to the channel, welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. This is the Polderbaan where the A380 of Emirates will land pretty soon. 2 747s are also underway. Oh! Okay. That was an abrupt stop of the descent. For a moment I thought we had our first go around, but surely they didn't get a sink rate warning, did they? Didn't look that remarkable until they stopped the descent temporarily. Anyway, where was I? Okay, so the A380 is expected soon, and 2 747s are also expected to land here. Crosswind conditions, no go-arounds yet. Although a few moments ago, to me it looked a little sketchy, but for those of you interested in the wildlife over here, we haven't seen any ducks yet, or any grebes for that matter, which is rather odd because normally the first aquatic birds we always see are the coots. No coots, no ducks, just Gary grebe. And Russell Crowe has been sighted as well. So Sofia coming in with the reversers enabled. That's something you don't get to see in here. Not very regularly. Lovely skies over here, looking to the west, to the east. It's currently looking like so. Southeast. South, southwest, west, northwest, turning back east, northeast, and lastly north. EasyJet flight 27806 is up next, arriving from Milan. It's an A319. It's going to be followed by a KLM 737 arriving from Prague, and TAP Air Portugal next after that. A320 arriving from Lisbon. Hadi Gerrit, goedemiddag. Jarno, goedemiddag. Silje, goedemiddag. And TX Chef tuning in from Austin, Texas. Good morning and welcome back. Now, if you're new to the channel, don't be afraid to say hi. Don't be afraid to introduce yourself. It's not mandatory. You can sit back and just enjoy the show in silence. But interaction is always appreciated. If you have any questions, if you're new to the channel, if you're new to the Netherlands, if you're new to Schiphol Airport and you have any questions, shoot. No such thing as a stupid question. Quite a few people are watching and will happily try to answer any questions you might have. I hear another. Oh, it sounded bigger than it turned out to be. I thought it was a wide body outbound to the north, but it's just a 737 that sounded a bit big. A380 im Anflug in der Tijd und bald hier. The A380 is underway and is expected here pretty soon. Here we have KLM flight 1354, arriving from Prague in the Czech Republic. Let me see, where's the A380? It's flying over Markermeer. Provided that the clouds aren't in the way, we ought to be able to see it when it is in the vicinity of Purmerend already. From here, the scale of chimney smoke chimneys are forming a line with Purmerend. Purmerend lies behind it, further back. So whenever you see the airplane you're looking for in the vicinity of Purmerend, which is north of Amsterdam, this is more or less where it ought to fly. Now, today the level of the clouds is probably a bit in the way. It probably will be hard to see the Emirates A380 much in advance, since the clouds are right at the level that the airplanes are flying at when they are approaching. This is TAP Portugal, arriving from Lisbon. Flight 668, A320neo, flight time 2 hours and 22 minutes, 6-year-old machine, first flight July 2020. Indeed, Michel, A380 expected in 5 minutes, and here on the Polderbaan. They are banking left and right a lot, aren't they? Is the wind becoming more gusty, I wonder? Well, the landing going seemingly effortlessly. No need to use those reversers either, just rolling out. Plenty room. Outbound traffic overhead. And that's an Embraer, I think. Narrow bodies outbound. 3 airplanes on the glide slope. On the right, KLM 1498 arriving from Barcelona, Embraer 190. In the middle, in the top, there's also an Embraer 190. That's BA City Flyer arriving from London City. And at the 7 to 8 o'clock of the number 2, we'll have the number 3. That's KLM 622 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. 777. The Emirates A380 is now in the vicinity of Purmerend, and normally speaking ought to be visible from here. Whether or not it is, we'll find out. It should be somewhere over there. I personally think the clouds are a little in the way. The airplane is descending as it moves further towards the west and to the runway area. So at some point it will start becoming more visible. Right now there's not much to see. I'm keeping the shot and also looking over the camera a bit more wide, so that hopefully if it is in between clouds I might be able to catch a glimpse of it. Not yet am I able to see anything, and I wonder if we will be able to see it before it will be on final. Should be already getting closer by to the Polderbaan. The clouds are probably in the way too much. So let's focus on what we can see best, which is the 2 airplanes already on the glide slope. The BA already landed. See, the flight radar is a bit behind. No, wait, that was KLM. This is the BA. BA City Flyer arriving from London City. In its footsteps, KLM 622 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. In the meantime, I keep looking a bit to the right of the camera to see if maybe I'm able to catch a glimpse of the A380 approaching the glide slope. Still no luck. I think that the clouds are still going to be in the way until the very last moment, until it has turned final. The clouds that we have over here have been around 3,000 feet all throughout the morning. 3,000, 2,800. I thought I saw a glimpse of the A380 just now, and then it vanished again. Can definitely confirm that the clouds are in the way. Wietse says that center is going to open up in a minute. Is that so? That's nice. I really had thought it was going to be runway 27, with the wind not having changed dramatically in direction and only having increased in speed, but center opening up, that's good. That's at least the traffic to the secondary runway is going to the runway closest by to this runway. This is KLM Flight 622, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. Boeing 777, 300 The Emirates A380 is very far to the north and is turning final, and I wonder, I think this is it. Yep, there it is. Finally we're able to catch a glimpse of it. With two airplanes in front of it, and this being the third. Let's look and listen. KLM 622, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, 777-300 number 10 on flight radar now. This is the Papa Hotel Bravo, Victor Bravo, BVB. Time for the sun to start shining. And here, once again, a typical example of a KLM landing. Keeping up the speed, idle reverse landing, keeping up the speed, vacate late, sooner to the gate. That's how they roll, literally. Rolling out. Clean flap surfaces. If you guys were wondering, what was I hearing? A fat bike on the cycling path just now passing by. The Emirates A380 now visible on the glide slope to runway 18 right, number 3 for arrival, being preceded by two narrow bodies. The first one on the right being Vueling Flight 1375, which is an A320 arriving from Alicante. In the middle we have KLM Flight 1502, that's an A321neo arriving from Madrid. And then of course the Emirates A380, the beast from the east, going to the Polderbaan instead of a secondary runway. It's now number 2 on flight radar, already tracked by 1,227 people. Now I wonder, are we able to make it number 1? We already have more than 1,000 viewers watching, so I can't say come on and join in, but more people are already watching on flight radar. I hope they are able to find the stream so that they can see the A380 in actual form here landing. Right, first up, Vueling Flight 1375. The obvious question is, of course, is the dot still in place? Is the dot still in place? That's what we're looking for here. Affirmative. The dot is still in place. Right, time to quickly turn back the camera. Airplanes preceding quads usually don't get much love here on AMS Live, and there is no exception for this narrow body A321neo KLM arriving from Madrid. Here it is. We're not going to follow it on its landing. We're going to keep the camera pointed in the direction of Emirates Flight 147. Now, if you guys came only to see the Emirates A380 land, it might be good for you to know that within half an hour there are two 747s coming in to the Polderbaan, arriving from the west, from Miami. So they will be landing on this runway regardless of whichever secondary runway will be open by then. And the first of the two 747s that is expected, again within half an hour after this A380 will have landed, is the Retro Cargo Lux. So if you don't have to be anywhere and next to the A380 you also enjoy 747s, it's highly recommended that you stick around because we are going to catch them all. Emirates is now number 1 on flight radar, tracked by no less than 1,762 people. Way more than are watching our stream right now, but that is amazing. What a big number. The flight time of Emirates A380 today has been 7 hours and a minute. That's half an hour longer than it normally used to be. It always used to be around 6.5 hours, but that was before the geopolitical disturbances in the Middle East of this year came to be. 7 hours and a minute. It's a 10-year-old machine. Registration Alpha 6 Echo Uniform Mike. It's the The is 10 years old. First flight June 2016. Joost is back. Good to see ya. Not sure if I already said hi to you, Olaf. Good afternoon, mate. Jeff says brick with wings would be prettier. I'm under the impression that you're not a big fan of the aesthetics of the Emirates A380. Alright, here we go. Let's look and listen. The reversers will maybe get spooled up. Not always, so fingers crossed it'll be a loud one today. Oh yeah. There we go. Hey there, Lise. That's toch amazing. Absolutely, it is amazing. Have a look. British understatement there by Jeff. I am not the greatest fan of the A380, no. Well, I have to say, it's not an aesthetically pleasing airplane per se, but it is an impressive one. The fact that such a big, bulky thing can fly, and apparently very comfortably if you hear the people who have been on board as a passenger. It can fly around the world, it can land safely. It is remarkable, it is amazing in that sense. But yeah, aesthetically the 747s of course are much prettier. I think most people will agree with that. Now, speaking of 747s, like I said before, there are two more underway. There are two underway to the Polderbaan, this runway. And they should be here pretty soon. Why don't we have a quick look on Flight Radar? Like I said before, if you don't have to be anywhere, stick around for another half hour or so. The two 747s arriving from Miami are close by. You can see them on Flight Radar already. They are approaching and are above England. Cargolux, the retro Cargolux, will be first, arriving at 1:27, and behind it 1:35, 10 minutes, just under 10 minutes later, Atlas Air is also going to be arriving here. They are going to be landing on the Polderbaan if all is well, since they will be arriving from the west, so if you don't have to be anywhere, stick around, because we're going to catch them all just like Pokemon. In the meantime, KLM flight 1602 is landing on the runway over here, arriving from Rome. As the Emirates A380 is vacating the Polderbaan area on its way back to the main platform area. It's also going to be time in a moment to point the camera again to the inbound traffic. It's all narrow bodies for the time being. You can see the KLM Embraer landing just now. There is a 737 now next to land here, KLM flight 1270. After that, an E2 Embraer 195, which is returning from Aberdeen. Sparta Rotterdam, goedemiddag. Good to see you again, mate. Hope you were in time to see the Emirates A380 land here. Scuderia René also back. Good to see you, mate. How have you been? Long time no see. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Physics just physics and beauty equals function plus form. Absolutely. Right. The next airplane landing here using the reversers. KLM flight 1270. If you're a bystander over here and you don't have binoculars or a camera with you, this is what you would probably see. It's with a camera and zoom that you can get things much closer by. It feels like wind is picking up ever so slightly. Ah, Sparta Rotterdam was just too late to see the A380 land here. What a shame, mate. Well, you can always rewind. Make sure that you do. In the meantime, I am having a look to see what the METAR is saying with regards to the wind. It's still 16 knots, 280 degrees. I'm updating the ticker as we speak. Double-digit wind speed and mostly crosswind. Here we have an E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Aberdeen in Scotland, KLM flight 914. John wonders if everyone there is deaf after the A380 reversers. Well, it's not happening that quickly, mate. It might be that we were deaf already. Speaking for myself, I definitely was already before even starting to live stream. But it's duration and intensity that that makes whether you get deaf or not. I don't think that the exposure is long enough to start getting deaf from over here. I am seeing something else now that has caught my attention, and I am wondering if there is a fire over there or if this is normal. Wasn't here before. The color of the smoke seems to indicate there's a fire going on over there. I wonder if there's a report of a fire in the vicinity over there. Dear sir / madam, fire! Exclamation point. Exclamation mark. Fire! Help us! Looking forward to your reaction. All the best, boy, Amos Live. I wasn't aware that we had dunes over there, dune fires or forest fires usually taking place in less residential areas. Then again, you do have the west part of the Amsterdam port area, where I think it was even in the news yesterday, the national news. They have fires quite regularly over there. Usually the garbage disposal companies have fires on almost a daily basis due to batteries not being disposed properly. Vape batteries, e-bike batteries getting crushed, short-circuiting and then catching fire. Niftek is reporting that there is a fire. Renewy, that is a waste disposal firm. It made the news yesterday. I think or was it the day before yesterday? RTL News, National News, the 7:30 News reported on the high frequency of fires at waste disposal companies. Consumer batteries not being disposed of properly. Runway 27 no longer in use as secondary runway for arrivals, but 18C instead is. So I've updated the ticker. Runway use is now correct again. Dad and his young girl over here. She keeps walking towards the water constantly. Dad is constantly making sure she isn't going into the water. Waving at the pilots. Have they waved back already? Nog niet, nog niet. Not yet. We need to wave harder. Ah, leuk. Ja. At home she's also waving to the pilots. Sometimes they do wave to us. Let's see if we can trigger a wave from the first officer and start waving. Let me join with waving and see. Hard to see. Oh ja, ja. Leuk, ja. Dan is het leuk om te doen. Ja, inderdaad. Another Massey Ferguson tractor. That's the wrapping tractor. Oh, got on the cycling path. Tractor had brake a little, so that the gentleman could go step aside. So the wrapping tractor is continuing. Parallel arrivals have commenced, and we're waiting for 2 747s coming in. Right now I see that most of the traffic is going to the center runway. Makes me wonder if a runway inspection is going to commence soon. Is that the bird control starting an inspection? I think it is. Yeah, the lights are twinkling. So there's a runway inspection of the Polderbaan in progress right now, which is why all of the traffic going to Schiphol is temporarily all going to the center runway by the looks of it. I wonder if KLM flight 1920 will still be going to the Polderbaan. It's not flying downwind. Wrapping tractor, M&M tractor says creepy. Creepy, that's a nice one. We need to call that tractor M&M. M&M, the Massey Ferguson tractor. Bird control is doing an inspection. As you can see, rather busy over here, despite the sandiness. Regular viewers will know by now that whenever weather is semi-decent, and particularly if there are school vacations, here at the Polderbaan things can get busy quite quickly. 1920 is going for the Polderbaan, says Wietse. I was about to pronounce it with an English tongue. Wietse says that the KLM flying in now from Zurich will be going to the Polderbaan, so this inspection will not be long-lived. It will be over soon. K4 on the runway, checking for debris. Meanwhile, the scale of chimney smoke chimneys show more horizontality once again. Temporarily they were showing a bit more verticality, which seemed to indicate the wind was reducing in speed. That hasn't been the case over here, at least. Not sure over there land inward if it has been the case temporarily, but over here the wind has been very constant and has been increasing over the past few hours, if anything, only slightly. 1 knot at a time. Here we have the... which one is this again? The Estonia special livery, if I recall correctly, from Air Baltic. It's Air Baltic flight 621 arriving from Riga. Hey, Yellard is also back in the chat and he is informing us that in 30 minutes from now we'll get a bonus queen in the form of a Cathay cargo arriving from Paris. Nice, nice. In 30 minutes from now, right? So that should be here around the same time as the second 747 that is underway from Miami. And I am looking for Turkish right now. That's not it, is it? No, that's the predecessor from Frankfurt. Yeah, so I think that the clouds are in the way of seeing Turkish. Yet, it will become visible at some point, of course, not too long from now. Provided that the airplanes are flying below the clouds, it makes for a nice additional contrast. But when the airplanes are still flying above them, of course they are obscuring visibility a little. This is Turkish flight 1957, which is flying just a little ahead of KLM flight 1920, arriving from Zurich. The latter is coming to the Polderbaan. And this one is going to the center runway, which, well, we'll be able to follow a bit. Frans Strip is tuning in from Norway. Hey, he writes, hey to you too. Welcome to the show, everybody else who may have joined later. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are here at the Polderbaan, runway 18 right. One of two runways in use now for inbound traffic. Center being the other one. Parallel arrivals, in other words, are in progress. I'm trying to find KLM flight 1920, which is right there. Arriving from Zurich, 737-800. And behind it, further back, ought to be a 777-300 arriving from Panama City. Question is, are we able to see it yet? Answer, yes, there it is. For a moment I thought it was going to be too far away and too high up for us to see, and that the clouds would be in the way, but they're not. That's really nice. Right, so there's a bonus queen on the way apparently. Let's have a quick look on flight radar. What do things look like right now? Well, feast your eyes on this, ladies and gentlemen. 3 747s are underway. We have one in France, expected here around 1:37, and that was also around the same time that the Atlases are expected. 1:39 and 1:37. If this is going to be directed to the Polderbaan, which normally it would, but it doesn't always, then we might get back-to-back 747s landings with an A3 with the ETA 139 and 137, and the retro lux is expected 134. So we might even get. That's not going to happen. Not a triple 747 back-to-back landing. That would be a channel premiere, and what a premiere that would be if that were to come true. It could be possible. It could happen. But practically speaking, being the pessimist that I am, I don't think it will. They'll usually cram in a few narrow bodies to keep enough separation. But we can dream, can't we? I'll definitely have a hopeful glass of vodka to celebrate. 3 747s within 10 minutes. How about that as a grand finale for today's show, eh? Don't think it gets much better than this. 3 747s within 10 minutes. Pilot EHAM asks about the fire smoke. It's gone. It's no longer there. If it was at Renewy, and assuming Renewy is just like the other waste processing plants, they'll have adequate extinguishers and will probably be able to get things under control relatively quickly. Unfortunately, Lisa has to go back to work. Her lunch break is over. One queen leaving, but 3 more are expected. Werk ze. See you straks. See you later. And me myself has to extend the lunch break to get to see the back-to-back 747. It would be something, wouldn't it? 3 747s back-to-back. That mustn't have happened since the 1990s here at Schiphol Airport. Maria has to delay her bedtime. Yeah, priorities. You have to set your priorities in life. The possibility of seeing 3 queens back to back certainly is a priority if you are an avid aviation lover. That was KLM flight 758 arriving from Panama City. Next up, Ryanair with a flight from Dublin. How loud will it be? How hard will the landing be? We'll find out in a few moments. After Ryanair on its 10 o'clock, at its 10 o'clock we can see an EasyJet A320neo arriving from Palma de Mallorca. Ryanair flight 3006. 3006. Flight time has been 1 hour and 6 minutes. The 9 Hotel Quebec Alpha Hotel. Quoi? That almost sounds French. Quoi? Or ca. It's probably ca. The reversers are being deployed, but for some reason they don't sound as loud as they normally would have been. Might have to do with the fact that the wind is blowing the sound away from us. Interestingly, KLM flight 926 is flying to the center runway, arriving from Scotland from Edinburgh. And ordinarily it would have been directed to our runway. Now, we still were in need of a SkyTeam special livery to have all the airplane alliances featured in today's show. I think this is what we were looking for. SkyTeam, One World, Star Alliance. Now we've seen them all. EasyJet flight 27888 arriving from Palma de Mallorca, A320neo up next. Looking up in the direction of where traffic overhead to and from Frankfurt usually flies, to see if maybe I'm able to catch something, but I'm not. I'm sure we must have had countless flights that have passed by overhead already, but you guys saw it before. The airplanes that do fly overhead don't produce contrails today, or if they are producing contrails, only a slight, very thin one that is hard to see. So for now we'll have to make do with everything that we see over here. If there's something interesting passing by overhead, do let me know, obviously. The sky is cloudy, but there are also blue bits, so with a little bit of luck we are able to see something. Though it will be relatively short-lived, of course, but it is possible to see stuff overhead if something passes by overhead. The sun is now fully shining on this Embraer 175 KLM flight 1124 arriving from Ork, which is Cork, ORK, Cork, AOK. What was that again? That was something in Greece. Karpathos. How are you doing? I'm doing Karpathos. I'm doing AOK. To me, it definitely feels like the wind is increasing in severity a little. Transavia flight 6008 is arriving from Porto in Portugal. Flying parallel to it is a TUI 737 arriving from Zakynthos in Greece. Zakynthos. Cargo Lux, the Retro Lux is approaching the coastline, and the Cathay Bonus Queen is approaching the province of Zeeland, which is our southwesterly most province. When it is entering Dutch airspace, you'll be able to see its runway assignment again. There is a small chance it's going to go to the center runway, but I am cautiously optimistic it will be assigned to the Polderbaan. That is what usually is the case, but I've seen it happen otherwise. It has happened before. It can happen again. It will happen again. Oh, last minute deployment of the reversers by the pilot flying the Transavia over there. Quite a big crowd of people over there. It looks more busy than it is because it is compressed, so you will have enough space to find your own spot. But it's definitely crowded over here. Yeah, let's see if maybe image stabilizer reduces those vibrations just a little. Not really. Doesn't seem to have made a big difference, does it? It keeps resonating and vibrating. In that case, I am going to disable it because image stabilizer makes following less accurate. Since it doesn't make a big difference, at least to me it seems. It doesn't. Might as well just keep filming without the image stabilizer enabled. Right, bonus queen for the Polderbaan, says Richard. Thanks for looking that up, mate. Good news, it means that the 3 747s that you can see on Flight Radar approaching are all three going to land here on the Polderbaan, the runway we are standing right next to. Air France, Bombardier C-Series 300 arriving from Paris, flight 1640. Its cousin from KLM is flying over there, E2 Embraer 195. That's KLM flight 1652 arriving from Firenze or Florence. Cafe 747 here as well. Indeed, Paul, and I hear something passing by overhead, so I'm looking up. I'm not seeing anything except for dark blue sky and clouds. Sky that is blue is dark blue, indicative of relatively low humidity, and that definitely is true if you consider that the airplanes passing by overhead are producing little to no contrails. All the water vapor is dissolving in the air almost immediately. I could lock the pen and tilt axes, but then I would have to unlock them again if I want to start things to move. That would probably make for a bit less vibration. Then click, click, I'd have to unlock the locks again, start following the airplane. KLM flight 1640 just now landed here, Embraer 175, returning from Turin. Interesting, the airplane arrived from Turin, going to this runway. The airplane from, what was it again? Firenze, going to the center runway. I am zooming out because Retro Lux must be close by, and the Bonus Queen, yeah, Bonus Queen is still a bit further back. Cargo Lux is approaching the coastline, and that means I'm going to start looking for it. It's not extremely far to the north. The question is, of course, are we able to see it from here? I'm not sure that we are, but I am going to give it a go. Retro Lux. What is its altitude? Let me double check. 3,725 feet, so it is already relatively low, approaching the coastline. Makes it harder for me to see from here because it will be lower above the horizon, which makes buildings more at risk of being in the way. Also not knowing exactly where I need to point the camera, or at least where I need to look initially, then start pointing the camera makes it a bit hard to see something. I did see something flying. Was it over here? Was it further? Thought I had a frame of reference for seeing something approach. I did see an airplane momentarily, but I think it went into clouds again before I was able to point the camera in the right direction. Okay. Let's give that another go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the clouds are in the way. For now, let us focus on what we can see best, and that is traffic on the glide slope already. Well, the Cargo Lux 747 is now above high-low. That's pretty far to the north, and it's already pretty low, so it will be very hard to see with clouds in the way. I am seeing something over there. Could that be it? Yep, we've got a visual. There it is. You really need to have a lot of digital zoom, almost all of it. This is fully zoomed out. This is 600 millimeters, full optical zoom. This is 400 times digital zoom. Getting close to what we need with 400 times. Hard to make out any details from so far away. It is the next airplane to be landing here. There are no airplanes in front of the 747 anymore. Cargolux arriving from Miami, Florida. Doesn't have a flight number, it just has a call sign, 86 November. Now number 9 on flight radar, tracked by 548 people. It's interesting that the Cargolux Retro gets far less views on flight radar than the Emirates A380 does. If I had to choose between the two, I would choose the Retrolux over the A380 all days of the week. Me myself says love the black nose. I agree. That cute boop the snoot snooty. Yet it's only being tracked now by 611 people on flight radar, making it number 6. It's not even going to get into the top 3 like this. It's a shame. In the meantime, I'm looking for the other two 747s. The bonus queen is flying over The Hague. Should be sighted, should be possible to see by our viewers who are in the Hague area. And the Atlas Air 747 is approaching as well, looking to be around equidistant. So it will be nice to see if these two will be arriving here back to back. Obviously, we're not going to get a triple arrival, but we are still able to get a double arrival, a double 747 arrival here. We're at the top end of optical zoom. Let me engage a little, add a little digital zoom. The heatwave disturbances are magnified, but so too is the picture of the airplane. You can see the cute boop, the snoot snooty already. Now number 4 on flight radar, tracked by 799 people. Getting ever closer to getting it into the top 3. 817, still number 4. The GJ, GG, says, hey boy, nice footage again. Thank you so much, mate. Doing the best I can. Happy to hear you are enjoying. Alright, now, Cargolux, number 1. But I'm not seeing how many viewers are watching because somebody is calling me from Eindhoven. Now the number is gone again. Don't know who it was. 878 people, but it is still number 1. We made it into the top 1. Awesome. Now, hopefully the sun is also going to start shining on it. Over here where I'm standing, the sun is shining. Yes, there we go, lights on. Let's listen for the reversers, fingers crossed. Oh, what a machine. Flipping awesome. Flipping awesome. 1 down, 2 to go, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, let's see. Cargo Lux has landed. We're waiting now for Cathay and for Atlas. Cathay Cargo is flying to the north now. What altitude is it flying on? 6,750 feet. That is still above the, well above the clouds. And Atlas is also arriving. Atlas is arriving and already at 2,800 feet. So somewhere over there, there ought to be a Cathay 747 coming this way. The clouds are unfortunately in the way. I'm not sure we are able to see it. We will be able to see it soon enough though. When it has passed us by, it will have to descend. Let me see if I can. I will have to walk around the camera so that the camera wires don't get tangled. But I'm definitely intent on trying to see if we can catch the Cathay 747. That ought to be really close by, somewhere over there in the sky. How is it possible that I'm not seeing it yet? The sky over there is relatively blue. The airplane is relatively close by. Honestly, where on earth? Where's that Cathay? Come on. Ah, annoying. But look on flight radar, ladies and gentlemen. Look on flight radar. We are going to get back-to-back 747s in a moment. Still not seeing that Cathay. That is really incredible. How is it possible that it hasn't been visible? Such a big part of the sky, so much blue. What I am able to see on flight radar is that we most likely are going to get two 747s back to back. Cathay Cargo is going to be following the Atlas Air 747. I'm really annoyed that I'm not able to see the Cathay yet, nor the other 747. Right. Well, the triple on final, at least I can see. I'm still looking in the vicinity of where those 747s are at to see if maybe I'm able to catch a glimpse of them. I think they're too far away, but I am surprised that I wasn't able to at least catch a brief glimpse of the Cathay Cargo passing overhead. Well, not really literally overhead, but really close by through a part of the sky that is very blue here. The glide slope looks very gloomy and doomy, but over here we do have a big chunk of open sky, and this is where I was looking all the while, hoping for a glimpse of the Cathay 747. Stealth Cathay indeed. But look on flight radar, if all is well, we are going to get a back-to-back Queen landing here. What a way to end the show. The grand finale. Here we have Emirates Flight 9922. Emirates Sky Cargo. Arriving from Aguadilla, is it? Yeah. Got my eye on one of the 747s, I think. Yep, there is Cathay. There's the Cathay, all right. Atlas is already ahead of it. Ooh, this is going to be great fun. Back-to-back 747s. It's been a while. It's not unique, but it is relatively rare. Bonus Queen, Cathay Cargo Flight 2014, arriving from Paris. Da da da! I mean... Ah, yeah, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys are enjoying glide slope shots like this, don't forget to drop a like if you haven't already, and make sure to subscribe if you want to help this channel grow. 2 747s, one shot. Here we go. Top and bottom, with top being Atlas Air Flight 5528, arriving from Miami, Florida. And the same can be said for the origin. No, wait, I was wrong. I'm confusing now the airplane that already landed, which was also from Miami, Florida. But this one is from Miami, and the bottom one is from Paris. It's like we're back in the 1990s with back-to-back 747s. The mother of all glide slope shots over here. Crabby Queens. Right, Queen number one coming in, number 3 on flight radar, tracked by over 1,000 people. Atlas Air Flight 5528, arriving from Miami, Florida. 8 hours and 9 minutes on the way, the November 476 Mike Charlie, a 27-year-old machine hailing from April 1999. Absolutely lovely. Let's quickly turn back. Next 747 is coming. That's the Bonus Queen, number 2 on flight radar, tracked by 1,300 and almost 1,400 people. Still number 2. Can we make it number 1? Cargo Lux just now landed. Atlas has, and now Cathay 2. Cathay Cargo Flight 2014 is arriving from Paris. 747-8, flight time 45 minutes, which is nominal for the distance between Paris and Amsterdam. It's the Bravo Lima Juliet November. It's a 10-year-old machine. The first flight was in June 2016. Her Majesty is gracefully gliding towards the gliding off the glide slope to the runway, where she'll be making a touchdown in a few moments from now. This will be the last airplane for today's show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm already going to go ahead and say thank you for joining me here today. I had a blast and I hope you guys did too. Let's hope this airplane will also give us a blast in the form of reversers spooling up. Let's look and listen, fingers crossed. Here we go. Tractors passing by as well. Have a look. Right, here we go. What a way to end the show, eh? Absolutely lovely. Right, that was it for me for today, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you so much for joining me here today. I had a great time and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. If you did enjoy the show, don't forget to leave a like on your way out if you want to help us reach a more wide audience in the future. Liking and subscribing and sharing helps a great deal. A massive big thanks for all the support, for all the super chats, the super stickers, for the gifted memberships, for the people who renewed or became a member for the first time themselves. Thank you so much for all the PayPal donations and merch shop purchases that have happened in the meantime. Also, lastly, a great thanks once again to all the mods who were present in today's show. Thank you for keeping the chat friendly and accessible to all. You guys are the best and I hope you guys are there again next time. Hopefully see you again soon. For now, I'm going to wrap up. Say goodbye to all of you. Sleep well for those of you whose bedtime it has been already. And see you in the next one. Stay safe and stay healthy. Till next time, bye for now.